Hi again, everyone. Post 22 baseball from Fitzgerald Stadium in the Camping World Firecracker Tournament. Post 22 continues play tonight as the only unbeaten team in the Firecracker. However, their opponent tonight is a team that is right behind them with a 4-1 record in the standings, and that is Rocky Mountain out of Fort Collins, Colorado. With Mark Benetti, this is Tom Rudebush on ESPN Radio Rapid City and our Hardhat TV broadcast directed by Destin Human tonight as always. And we have overcast skies at the present time. They are forecasting a chance of rain later in the evening. And right now, the temperature is 86, and they're forecasting about a 40% chance of rain showers at 9 p.m. tonight. So hopefully, Mark, we won't have a game like we had last night. We'll have a quick, concise, well-pitched, well-hit, well-fielded ball game.
Here is hoping, because last night, I don't think I ever want to see that again. I still can't wrap my head around it. I saw some friends after the game. They asked me how the game went. When I told them there were 15 errors, they said, please tell me that's an exaggeration. And I said, Yakima had 8. We had 7. And of our 7, 5 came on the mound, and 4 of them went to the starting pitcher. And they were just all just starstruck. They couldn't believe it. And, so here we are. It's a new game. It's a new day. Here's hoping that the Hardhats put last night out of their heads and we don't see 15 combined errors.
The scores from today's games: Premier West defeated Mountain West in the first game today, 3-1. Then Eden Prairie won 2 games, 3-1 over Mountain West and 13-8 over Las Vegas. And in the game just completed, Missoula, Montana shut out Yakima 7-0. So Post 22 plays Rocky Mountain tonight. Here are the up-to-the-minute standings. Post 22, 5-0. Then Eden Prairie at 5-1. Rocky Mountain, our opponent tonight, 4-1. Premier West is rebounded. They're 3-2 now. Then we have Missoula 2-3. Mountain West 2-4. Yakima 1-5, and Las Vegas winless in their 6 games. The scenario for Post 22 has really become pretty simple. They play the 2 best remaining teams in the tournament. Tonight, Rocky Mountain. Tomorrow night, Eden Prairie. If Post 22 would win tonight's game, they would move to 6-0, and they would clinch a spot in the championship game on Tuesday at 5 p.m. If Rocky Mountain wins this game, that would give 3 teams records of 5 wins and 1 loss. That would mean Post 22 would need to beat Eden Prairie tomorrow night to get into the championship game. So a win tonight or a win tomorrow night secures a championship game place for Post 22. I'm sure they'd much rather get it done, taken care of tonight, and move into that championship game on Tuesday. Now, just to look ahead, tomorrow the Rocky Mountain team plays Yakima. And Yakima is 1-5 so far in the tournament, so you have to assume that Rocky Mountain would have a good shot at winning that ball game. So, Mark, it comes down very simply for Post 22. You've got 2 shots at it. You win just one of your next 2 games against the 2 best teams in the tournament outside of Rapid City, and you're in.
Win and you're in. It's as simple as that. However, for as simple as it sounds, sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is to win that one game. And we even saw that last night with the Hardhats. It was a very hard game. They still pulled off the win, but it goes to further the point that while it sounds so easy and while we make it sound so glamorous, these guys still have to play 7 innings and get the job done, and they're going up against the defending champion of this tournament in Rocky Mountain, so it should be interesting, the Lobos against the Hardhats.
And, of course, we have 4 very special guests here tonight at Fitzgerald Stadium, as George Washington is here tonight, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and Teddy Roosevelt, and they are all out on the field right now. And, maybe Destin could get a picture of that and post it on Facebook. All the presidents at one moment on this field at Fitzgerald Stadium. Never probably to be seen on any other baseball field in the country.
Oh, maybe the Washington Nationals might have anything to say with it. They do have their presidential races during the 7th inning, after all.
Yeah, but those are all imposters. These are the real guys.
Fair enough. I like it. Leave it up to Washington to have a bunch of imposters for presidents, right?
Yes. Well, I found out something the other day. If you have a bunch of birds, they call it a flock.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to remember now how this exactly goes, but a bunch of baboons, if you have a bunch of baboons, you know what they're called? And this is
I don't even want to take a guess.
a congress.
Oh, there you go. Fair enough.
Have you ever thought of something more perfect? A bunch of baboons called a congress.
I love how we keep the conversations of primates going on in the booth. I drop the line. You throw two monkeys in a room with a typewriter. They're going to write Shakespeare. And Tom educates us that a group of baboons is a congress. Just it's hilarious, the irony in that statement.
I hope our fans appreciate the lengths that we will go to educate them as well as entertain them. And I don't think that they fully appreciate our efforts to educate them.
See, that's what I'm saying, too. Like, we're really going out of we're breaking our backs just dropping knowledge here. It's nuts.
It's just amazing.
That it is.
Well, Timmy Paris is going to receive the first pitch, and let's see who's going to throw it out.
I think Jefferson's going to throw it. Oh, no, that's Washington. Washington's going to throw it. Unless they all have a baseball, in which case everyone's going to take their turn throwing it.
I like Teddy Roosevelt's pose. He's folded his hands, holding them in front of him. Very peaceful.
He does not look amused at all.
Abe looks around the field. He's kind of looking around like he's wondering if there's a John Wilkes Booth in the crowd.
Hey, I'd be wary of that, too.
Oh, that was sad, Tom. That was way out of line. No, that Abraham Lincoln, who I consider, if you had to pick the top 5 presidents of all time, I don't think there's any doubts that Lincoln would be in there.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Ooh, Abe's getting a little, ooh.
Wow, outside corner pitch for George. Attaboy. Well, that ceremonial first pitch leads us to the introduction of our lineups. Al Solano's our public address announcer tonight. He's going to announce everybody and ask them to reach their respective baselines. So we'll go ahead and we'll do the same for everybody listening to our broadcast tonight on ESPN Radio Rapid City. The Rocky Mountain Lobos are batting first in the top halves of our 7 innings of regulation. Leading off is number 24, Jeff Hoggett. He'll patrol right field. Batting second is number 11, Hayden Hines. He's patrolling center field. Batting third, number 47, Tyler Mata Lloyd. He's the second baseman. And in the cleanup position is number 37, Spencer Smith-Baker. He's the designated hitter tonight for Rocky Mountain. Batting fifth is number 21, Cody Stevens. He's in the hot corner at third. Batting sixth is number 16, Adam Cornell. He's the shortstop. Batting seventh is number 30, Cade Nelson. He's the first baseman. Batting eighth is number 17, Garrett Fisher. He's the catcher. And rounding out the batting order in the 9 hole is number 19, Connor Luchuk. He is patrolling left field. Sam Sanchez, number 9, is on the mound tonight for Rocky Mountain. They are the defending champions of this Firecracker tournament, and he will take on the Hardhats batting order as follows in the bottom halves of our 7 innings. Leading off for post 22 is number 11, Walker Paz, as always at second base. Batting second is number 13, Zach Solano. He's patrolling right field. Batting third is number 22, Cooper Bowman, as always at shortstop. And in the cleanup position is number 23, Eric Petrie. He's the designated hitter for post 22 tonight. Batting fifth is number 28, Zach Sumption. He's patrolling left field. Batting sixth is number 21, Timmy Paris, the backstopper and catcher. Batting seventh is number 31, Luke Ferdinand. He's out at first base. Batting eighth is number 14, Justin Kramer. He's in the hot corner at third. And rounding out the batting order in the 9 hole is number 12, Connor King. And as always, he will patrol center field. Holden Jackson is on the mound tonight for the Hardhats. This is just his third start of the season, but it's his 14th appearance for the Hardhats on the mound this season. He has 24 1/3 innings of work under his belt with 18 strikeouts to 13 walks and a 4.60 ERA. Tom, you were mentioning earlier off the air before we jumped onto our broadcast that out of all the pitchers on this staff, Holden's arm probably has the most rubber in it because his off-speed pitches, his breaking pitches, they're amazing. They've got so much break to them, so much movement to his pitches, And that's when he's at his best, when he not only paints the strike zone, but when he does it taking away your vision by making the ball dance all over the place.
And that's just a God-given talent. A resilient arm isn't something that you can really nurture or create over your career. You either have it or you don't. And some pitchers in the major leagues have it. Some pitchers in college have it. But it's a great trait to have if you can bounce back with a short amount of rest and still be able to throw the ball efficiently.
Well, all of our lineups are out on the mound. We're going to get set for the presentation of the United States colors and the performance of the United States national anthem. So we will take a quick recess. When we come back, we'll be all set for first pitch between the defending Firecracker champion, the Rocky Mountain Lobos, as they take on your Post 22 Hardhats tonight. Stick around, folks. You're listening to the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Welcome back to Fitzgerald Stadium, and Post 22 taking the field here tonight with their all-important game against Rocky Mountain, and let's see how the Hardhats respond after a performance last night that certainly was an aberration from what we'll see for the season, but it was what it was last night, and the big thing was Post 22 won 9-7. Coaches meeting at home plate. Scott Hackett, the coach of Rocky Mountain. They're out of Fort Collins again. Mitch Messer, the head coach of Post 22, with the umpires here as we get ready to start tonight's game.
Taking the mound for the Hardhats is Holden Jackson, and Jackson comes in for just his third start of the season, but for him, it's his 14th appearance of the year. He has a 1-1 record as a starter. He's 1 for 1 in save opportunities as a reliever. 24 and a third innings of work under his belt with 18 strikeouts to 13 walks and a 4.60 ERA. Defensively surrounding him for the Hardhats, he is paired up with his catcher, Timmy Paris. At first is Luke Ferdinand. At second, Walker Paz. Shortstop, Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third for post 22 is Justin Kramer. Left to right in the outfield, Zach Sumption, Connor King, and Zach Solano. It's good to see Zach Sumption back out there. He was battling a little illness the last couple of nights, so definitely good to see now the statistical hitting leader for the Hardhats back in the batting order and in the lineup.
Zach said he was really 2 nights ago. What's today? Sunday. It was Friday night that he was really under the weather with that flu. His dad had it during the week, so that's probably where he got it. He felt better yesterday, and he says, really, I feel really good tonight. So he's looking forward to getting back into the batter's box here and helping this post-22 team against this very tough Rocky Mountain team. So Holden Jackson will be having his biggest start of the season.
And it's a big start for a number of reasons, Tom. Keep in mind, the last time we saw Holden Jackson was in relief against the Northwest Bandits in what was just another unfortunate catastrophe for this Hardhats club at the end of the Palouse Summer Series. So he wants to rebound from that. But also, Tom, this could be his audition as the back-end starting pitcher in the rotation for post-22. So you never know where this could take Holden, whether he's going to be a bullpen threat or whether he could be relied upon to start a baseball game.
And the first pitch is down low to Jeff Hoggett, the right fielder for Rocky Mountain. They come into the game with a record of 14 wins, 10 losses, and 1 tie. And there's a drive into left field. Coming in is Sumption to make the catch for the first out. Hoggett retired, 1 down. It brings up Hayden Hines, the center fielder, a right-handed batter.
14-10-1 record. Bud Selig must have been at one of those games for it to result in a tie.
Or they ran into that time limit somewhere along the road.
Fair point.
Hines is a right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch on the way. He bunts the ball. Back towards the mound. It's up the third base side. It's going to roll. Foul. Post 22 got a break there. That ball trickled off the grass and gave it momentum to roll to its left. Only about 20-25 feet down the third baseline. And there's 1 strike on Hines.
And, Tom, that could have easily been fumbled by the Hardhats because you had Kramer charging from third, Jackson charging from the mound, Paris coming from home plate. 3 gentlemen that could have easily screwed that whole play up, but luckily, ball went foul, crisis averted.
Breaking ball drops over the inside corner for a strike to Hines, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. And the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, a fly ball down the right field line. The wind's going to hold that up. Giving chase and reaching out is Ferdinand, but he can't reach the ball. The wind is blowing in from the south, which is unusual for us. We haven't had too many games where the wind has been blowing in from right field, but any ball hit that way is going to be held up rather significantly tonight. Here's the pitch, and it's low for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rocky has scored 32 runs in the 5 games they have played so far in the Firecracker. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on, a sharp ground ball. A diving stop by Kramer behind the bag. The long throw is in time for the out. What a play by Kramer at third base. Playing a deep third, diving to his right to backhand the ball. And the coach of Rocky Mountain very upset. He thought that his runner had beaten the throw. 2 outs and nobody on, and Tyler Montaloid coming up.
What a play by Justin Kramer. Somebody call up SportsCenter because that should make the highlight reel. What a dive. What a stop. An even better throw. Wow.
And a breaking ball is a ball inside. 1 ball and no strikes on Montaloid, the second baseman, a right-handed batter. It was a close play at first base. Bang, bang. It could have been called either way. There's a foul down the right field line. 1 ball and 1 strike. But the coach, Scott Hackett for Rocky Mountain, had his hat off halfway towards home plate from his third base coach's box and wasn't pleased with the call at all. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's too high, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Outfield is straight away. Boy, Kramer's just been fantastic the last 3 to 4 weeks at third base. High and outside, and Holden falls behind 3-1.
And minus the injury to Carter, think of the depth they had at third base for such a long time in this season.
And the 3-1 pitch swung on and popped foul, backing out of play. So it's a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the first inning, Rocky Mountain batting. Rocky's only loss was to Premier West, 4-2. There's a drive hit to deep left center field. Sumption is back. He's at the fence, and he makes the catch right in front of the fence to the left of the scoreboard in deep left center field, and that retires the side. 1-2-3 for Holden Jackson in the top of the first inning. Post 22 comes to bat. Walker Paz will be the leadoff man. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
And a reminder, fans, that tomorrow night, that's the big fireworks display here at Fitzgerald Stadium following Post 22's game at 7 p.m. tomorrow night against that Eden Prairie team. Post 22 and Eden Prairie at 7. The fireworks extravaganza will follow the game. Hope to see you out here tomorrow night. I think tonight's crowd is still good, but not as good as last night. But the weather certainly, I'm sure, put the damper on some people's plans for tonight. The starting pitcher is Sam Sanchez for the Rocky Mountain team, and he is 6 foot, 165 pounds. Looks a little bit bigger than that. You know, Rocky Mountain won the Colorado High School State Championship, the large school title, and tomorrow night, when Post 22 plays Eden Prairie, Minnesota, they'll play the team that won the Minnesota large school high school baseball championship.
Sanchez set to take on the top third of the Hardhats order with Walker Paz, Zach Solano, and Cooper Bowman due up. Defensively surrounding Sanchez for the Rocky Mountain Lobos is the catcher Garrett Fisher, first baseman Cade Nelson, second baseman Tyler Mata Lloyd, shortstop Adam Cornell, and in the hot corner at third, Cody Stevens. Left to right in the outfield, Connor Luchuk, Aiden Hines, and Jeff Hoggett.
Walker Paz hitting .402 for the Hardhats, 2 home runs and 27 RBIs, and the first pitch is hit to right field. Backing off is Hoggett. He's in front of the warning track, and he makes the catch for the out. And the wind definitely held that ball up. Paz hit it right into the teeth of the wind, but still drove it to nearly the warning track before Hoggett made the catch.
And I'll even build off of that point, Tom. If the wind's going either the opposite direction or there is no wind, that ball's out of the park. So Walker, unfortunately, stymied by the elements there.
So here's Zach Solano taking a breaking ball over for a strike. Zach is hitting .390, and he's been hitting the ball very well the last couple of weeks. 6 home runs and 50 RBIs. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's down low. Wind is blowing out of the south-southeast at 15 to 20 miles an hour right now. And I think it might be just slightly higher with the way Old Glory is straight out there in left center field. 1 ball, 1 strike on Solano. Sanchez delivers, swung on and a foul off to the right. And the count is a ball and 2 strikes.
Sanchez has an interesting delivery on the mound. He's not coming overhand with the ball. He's kind of on a, not necessarily full-on sidearm, but he's definitely coming out of a different tunnel, if you will. That's kind of in between them both.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, another foul off to the right. Solano hangs in at a count of 1-2 strikes. Hines, the center fielder, is playing a deep center field. Straight away, but very deep, about 15 to 20 feet deeper than normal. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on, a ground ball hit to short, backhanded by Cornell. His peg to first base is good for the out. So 2 down as Solano grounds out short to first, and that'll bring up Cooper Bowman, the shortstop. Cooper is dipped below Zach Sumption, 444 now for Cooper on the season. Sumption at 447 back in the lineup in the number 5 spot. Here's the pitch, and it's a high fastball from Sanchez. Cooper peaked out during the tournament in Pullman when he raised his average to 505. Here's the pitch, and a breaking ball in for a strike. 1 strike.
Unfortunately, that average dipped. Last night he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts and a flyout.
Bounces a foul off to the left here, and it's 1-2. Every team that comes to the Firecracker wants to win the tournament, but there are 2 teams that over the years have especially wanted to win this tournament, and we face them the next 2 nights. That's Rocky Mountain and Eden Prairie. Here's the pitch. A foul sliced off to the right. 1-2 on Bowman.
It makes for good rivalries when these teams consistently want to come here and compete.
1-2 strikes on Bowman. The pitch on the way. Another foul down the right field line. Cooper hanging tough at 1-2 strikes. Leads the Hardhat team with 24 extra base hits on the season. He has 12 doubles, 5 triples, 7 home runs, and leading the team in RBIs with 55. Breaking ball high, and it's 2-2 now on Bowman. No score here in the bottom half of the first inning. Rocky Mountain and post 22. 2 outs and nobody on. Sanchez delivers, and another foul in back of the plate, and it's still 2-2.
And it especially thickens up the rivalry with Eden Prairie, too. You see them in regional play. You see them at the Gopher. You see them here. It's good stuff.
Pitch is a ball. As slipping is Sanchez, the pitcher, and it's a full count. Rocky Mountain has only given up 13 runs in their 5 games. So their pitching has been excellent in this tournament. Pitch is low, and Cooper is able to draw a base on balls here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning.
Good for Cooper to get on the base path, especially after the way last night's game against Yakima went. Like I said, he went 0 for 4, 3 backwards Ks in the book for his strikeouts and then the flyout. So good to see him get back on the horse at least and get on base.
Eric Petrie hitting .390 with 6 home runs and 33 RBIs, and takes a strike on the outside corner. Bowman at first base. He's a base-stealing threat, takes his lead, and Sanchez throws over there. Eric's about due for a long one.
I think base-stealing threat's putting it lightly for Cooper. 22 out of 23 on stolen bases.
There's a hard ground ball into left field, a base hit for Petrie. Stopping at second is Bowman, so Petrie singles through the hole to left. And post 22 has runners at first and second with 2 outs. And here's Zach Sumption back into the lineup after missing the last 2 games because of the flu. Zach at 447, 2 home runs and 30 RBIs. He's had just an awesome season. 9 doubles, 6 triples. He's got a chance here to give the Hardhats the lead. And he takes a strike at the knees. Bowman at second, Petrie at first. 2 out. Last half of the first inning. Here's the set by Sanchez. The pitch on the way. It's swung on and missed. And he's ahead of Sumption, 2 strikes.
It almost looked like a late swing there from Zach, especially too. He pulled away from the ball, so that wasn't really going to help him out either.
2 strikes, 2 on. Sanchez kicks and throws, high and outside. 1-2 on Sumption. Nelson, the first baseman, playing in back of Petrie at first. Again, the outfield straightaway. Hines not quite as deep on Sumption. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball. He struck him out. Got some Rocky Mountain fans out of Fort Collins following their team tonight. And Post 22 goes with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. First inning of play. Rocky Mountain nothing. The Hardhats nothing. Post 22 baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
5 games here tomorrow. Start at 9 o'clock with Yakima taking on this Rocky Mountain team. Then Mountain West Utah will play Missoula. Premier West will play Missoula at 2 and then come back and play against the Las Vegas team at 4:30, and then Post 22 and Eden Prairie. You know, Premier West, if they could win a couple of games tomorrow, they would be 5-2. The first tiebreaker, if it's 2 teams, of course, is head-to-head. The second tiebreaker is fewest runs allowed. And the third tiebreaker is most runs scored. And then we go to the fourth tiebreaker, Mark Benetti will flip a coin at home plate. Pitch is a breaking ball inside to Spencer Smithbaker, the designated hitter, a right-handed batter.
Well, they're going to let me do the honors this year. Okay.
Well, no, we were, but then when you lost the flip to Eden Prairie.
Ah, gotcha.
There's a high fly ball into right center field off the bat of Smithbaker, and Solano moving to his right, camped under it out there and hauls it in. Holden Jackson retires Smithbaker, 1 down in the Rocky Mountain second. There's no score in the game, and Cody Stevens coming up, the third baseman. Right-handed batter. Here's Jackson's pitch. Fastball chopped to third. 1 hop on the edge of the grass. Kramer fires to first for the out, 2 down. The human vacuum cleaner at third base, Justin Kramer.
Oh, we're going to have to get with the times. He's a Roomba out there at third.
You live in your era, and I'll live in mine. Adam Cornell, the shortstop, a right-handed batter. And a fastball through for a strike. Jackson's retired the first 5 men he's faced now. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on and hit foul down the right field line. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Little lightning a moment ago, but it was way to the south. Nothing even remotely close to the ballpark. Pitch is low, and it's 1-2 now in Cornell. One ball and 2 strikes. Holden Jackson into the windup. Here's his pitch. Swing and a roller back to the mound. And Jackson throws to first for the out to retire the side. Well, what a great start for Holden Jackson. 6 up and 6 down. Post 22 comes to bat here in the bottom of the second. The Hardhats and Rocky Mountain no score here from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Post 22 comes to bat with Timmy Paris to lead things off here in the last half of the second inning. He'll be followed by Ferdinand and Justin Kramer. Following the Firecracker tournament, Post 22 will have Wednesday off, and then Thursday we head to the Twin Cities to take on the teams in the Gopher Classic. We'll have a game on Friday, a doubleheader on Saturday and Sunday, and then depending on how we do next weekend determines whether we play Monday or Tuesday. But next Friday's game is an afternoon game. The only way you'll be able to hear that game is on Hardhats TV, and the weekend games, all four of them on ESPN Radio. Timmy Paris hitting .302, 2 home runs and 40 RBIs. And Sam Sanchez delivers a strike on the outside corner. Hardhats got a walk and a single with 2 outs in the first inning, had a 2-out chance, but Sanchez worked out of it. Paris hits a foul off to the right, and the count is 0-2. And the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. A breaking ball away. And that takes care of Timmy Paris. Second strikeout for Sanchez. 1 down, and Luke Ferdinand coming up.
Unfortunate swing there for Timmy, and he's frustrated with himself too. He knew he should have laid off of that. It was a good breaking pitch from Sanchez, but Timmy also realized too, with the way that pitch broke away, he really needed to throw his arms out at that just to try and protect, and totally missed it.
Luke Ferdinand hitting .324. Luke has 7 doubles on the year. He's knocked in 18 runs. Left-handed batter. And the pitch on the way is a strike over the inside corner. Outfield around to the right a few steps on Ferdinand in the outfield. Pitch on the way is a breaking ball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sam Sanchez delivers a line drive on 1 hop to short. To his left, Cornell gloves it and throws to first for the out. Ferdinand retired short to first, a 1-hopper out to Cornell, who moved a couple of steps to his left to get to the ball. And that'll bring up Justin Kramer, the third baseman.
We've talked about how Justin Kramer is a vacuum over there at third. How about his bat as of recently? He's just been on fire.
.392 average for Justin. He swings and drives it to center, but Hines is right there, comes in a couple of steps to make the catch. Kramer lines out to center and post 22 down in the second. 1, 2, 3. At the end of 2 now, it's the Hardhats nothing, Rocky Mountain nothing. We head to the third. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Leading off for Rocky Mountain is Cade Nelson, the first baseman. And the pitch is a ball low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Left-handed batter. Holden Jackson's pitch is swung on and peeled foul back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jackson retiring the first 6 men he faced. 3 ground ball outs, 3 fly ball outs. And he total of 20 pitches in the first couple of innings. Swinging a foul back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No score here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Post 22 wins this game. They will be in the finals no matter what they do tomorrow. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And a fastball is high, and it's 2-2. They play the left-handed batting Nelson straight away in the outfield. Post 22 doesn't shift their center fielders much at all. Pitch on the way is strike 3 on the low inside corner, and Nelson knew it. He just turned and walked away. Great pitch there by Holden Jackson for his first strikeout of the game. And that'll bring up Garrett Fisher, the catcher, right-handed batter.
Great pitch from Holden Jackson, and it goes back to what we talked about earlier on our pregame broadcast. His off-speed, his breaking pitches, that's his bread and butter. That's what he needs to go to.
And he throws that breaking ball inside. 1 ball and no strikes. May have been a little bit high to Fisher. The Rocky Mountain catcher, batting 8th in the order. And a strike on the low outside corner, and it's 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 3rd inning. Rocky Mountain batting, a scoreless game. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball high, and it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike. There's a fly ball to right field. It's shallow. Here comes Solano in to make the catch in shallow right field. Two down as Fisher flies to right. He's just a sophomore for Rocky Mountain doing their catching, so they're going to have a pretty good catcher the next couple of years. Here's Connor Luchuk, the left fielder. Left-handed batter. Holden Jackson delivers. Swung on, line foul down the right field line. 1 strike on Luchuk.
Luchuk was just a little early on that, but he picked up the pitch perfectly. So Holden has to start really mixing his arsenal here between when he's going to go inside with his fastball and when he's going to try and break the vision up of Luchuk with his breaking pitch.
Here's the pitch, and it's a strike, and it's 0-2. And you look at this Rocky Mountain roster, there is not one player who graduated this year from high school. So this is a young ball club.
And a good one at that.
2 strikes to count. Now time is called as Luchuk steps out. Here's Holden Jackson's 2-strike pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the left. Holden's retired the first 8 men he has faced. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Jackson strikes out Luchuk for his 2nd strikeout. 3 perfect innings for Holden Jackson. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Hardhats and Rocky Mountain scoreless. From the Anytime Auto Sales press box, you're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep, and around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
We mentioned we go to the Gopher Classic on Thursday following the Firecracker. When we return, don't forget it's one of the special nights of the season, too, on July 11th. That's a Tuesday night. It'll be the Diamond Spaghetti Dinner from 5 to 7 p.m. here at Fitzgerald Stadium. Always one of my favorite nights of the year as the players all dress up. They serve you act as your waiters. And I'm sure the Post-22 girls softball team might be on hand, too, for that. So we could have some gal servers. So look forward to that spaghetti dinner Tuesday night, July 11th. I'm buying for whoever shows up. I know Destin, that's his favorite food, spaghetti. Pitches down low to Connor King for ball one. 257 average for Connor. 2 homers and 25 RBI. Sam Sanchez delivers 1-0. And it is low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes on King. Walker Paz on deck. Zach Solano to follow. There's a line drive to left. Luchuk is there and makes the catch, moving a few steps to his right. And King is retired, 1 down. So it'll be interesting now for both teams as we start the second time around the lineup. A lot of times the hitters, after seeing the pitcher the first time at bat and then watching him for 3 innings, let's see what they can do here the second time around against Sam Sanchez. And Paz looks at a ball low and outside. Paz flied to right in front of the warning track in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Swung out, a fly ball to right center, and the center fielder Hines coming over to make the catch in right center for the second out. 2 up and 2 down in the Post-22. Third inning brings up Zach Solano.
Well, the first time Walker was retired in right field, the ball died because of wind. This time he got under the ball. It was a towering shot the whole way, and it was going to make for an easy catch.
And the wind has died down quite a bit here. Nothing like it was at the start of the game. Pitch comes in low to Solano for ball 1. Solano grounded out to short his first at bat. And Sanchez delivers. Swung out, a fly ball out into deep left center field. Back goes Luchuk. He's looking up, and that ball is gone over the left field fence for Zach Solano. His 7th home run of the season. And Post-22 takes the lead 1-0.
Well, Tom, in a duel that we're seeing between Sanchez and Holden Jackson right now, you need every hit, you need every guy on board. And there goes the human muscle, as you like to call him, flexing as such on a 1-0 pitch and absolutely tore the cover off that ball. I think it was over the second wall. That's how hard he hit it. Well played by Zach. Hardhats are on top of the 1-0 lead.
So Cooper Bowman steps in. 1-0 Hardhats. Bowman walked his first at bat and takes a pitch low for ball 1. 51st RBI for Solano. He's 4 behind Bowman in that category. And there's a strike. His 7th home run ties him with Cooper now for the team lead. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And a foul sliced off to the right. 1-2 on Cooper. Second hit for Post-22. Their only other hit was Petrie's single in the first inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 on the outside corner, and Cooper, very frustrated, leaves his bat and helmet at home plate and runs out to the shortstop position. But the Hardhats take the lead on the home run by Zach Solano. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. We head to the 4th. We played 3 innings in not even 35 minutes. At the end of 3, the Hardhats won and Rocky Mountain nothing here on ESPN Radio Rapid City.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
3 innings have been played here at the Fitz, and on just 2 hits in this ball game, Post 22 has a very narrow 1-0 lead over the Rocky Mountain Lobos. We have ourselves quite the duel going on over here. Numbers across the board for Post 22, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. Rocky Mountain, 3 zeros across the board. No runs, no hits, no errors in the ball game. Holden Jackson has retired 9 in a row. Back to the top of the order we go to the right fielder, Jeff Hoggett. And his first pitch rides upstairs for ball 1. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you here on ESPN Radio Rapid City. The 6th game of Firecracker round-robin play for the Hardhats. Undefeated at 5-0. 1-0 pitch swung on and it's hit to short. Bowman lets the ball hop to him, throw to first in time. 6-3 in the scorebook. 1 up, 1 down. Holden Jackson has retired 10 consecutive batters. That brings us to Hayden Hines, the center fielder. The Hardhats, the last undefeated team in Firecracker tournament round-robin play against Rocky Mountain, who's at 4-1, the defending champion of this tournament. First pitch from Jackson now to Hines. It hits him. Jackson tried to go for the breaking pitch inside. It clipped his leg. That is the first base runner that Jackson has allowed. It comes with 1 out. It's going to bring up Tyler Mata Lloyd, the second baseman. Mata Lloyd is 0 for 1, just like the rest of his teammates. His retirement was a fly out to left field to Zach Sumption. His first pitch misses low and away for ball 1. One out and a man on first here in the top of the 4th. Holden Jackson surrendered his first base runner of the ball game. So his streak of retirements ended at 10 in a row. Here's his 1-0 pitch. Low and away. Paris gets a big block, though, and hanging on at first is Hayden Hines. 2 balls, no strikes the count here from Holden Jackson to Tyler Mata Lloyd, the second baseman for Rocky Mountain. Taking his lead off at first is Hines. 2-0 pitch from Jackson. Inside, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes the count here to Mata Lloyd. With Spencer Smithbaker, the designated hitter, on deck. 3-0. That's a called strike at the knees of Mata Lloyd, and it's 3-1. Mata Lloyd has Hines on first with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. The Hardhats trying to keep this a 1-0 game in their favor. Zach Solano's home run currently the difference maker. 3-1 from Jackson. Swung on. Ball is lined over the head of Paz and into right field for a base hit. Solano comes into field. His throw to third is not in time, but what a throw that was. He almost got it there. So Holden Jackson surrenders his first hit of the ball game. Comes with 1 out. There are now men on the corners as Mata Lloyd stopped at first, and that'll bring up Spencer Smithbaker, the designated hitter. So the perfect game was broken up, and the no-hitter was broken up with back-to-back batters here in the top of the 4th. So it's men on the corners and 1 out. Rocky Mountain is 90 feet away from squaring the ball game up at 1 run on either side. Smithbaker's 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field. At his first pitch, curveball in there, strike 1. What a pitch that was. 0-1 the count to Smithbaker, and keep in mind, folks, with 1 out and a man 90 feet from the plate, the sacrifice fly is in effect to score a run and tie the ball game up. Jackson has 2 strikeouts in this start. He'd love to get a third right now, or the team's 44th double play of the year. Here's his 0-1. Breaking ball, swung on, and it's Stopped by Paz. He gets the bobble. Throw to first is in time, but it's going to score a run. So a 4-3 RBI ground out for Spencer Smith-Baker, and we are all square at 1 run aside with a man on second base and 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. So Motto Lloyd moves to second. Hines scores from third. That was an awkward play for Paz. It short hopped on him. The line drive just kind of died as it got to second. So now Cody Stevens is up with a man on second. And his first pitch is fouled out of play first base side. Stevens, the third baseman, is 0 for 1. He grounded out to his defensive position. 5-3 ground out. 1-1 now is the score as Rocky Mountain ties the ball game up thanks to Spencer Smith-Baker's RBI ground out with men on the corners. Had that not been such a weird play at second, it would have been a double play. Crisis averted. 0-1. Curveball just missed. And some of the disgruntled umpires in the stands are voicing their displeasure at ball and a strike now to Stevens.
This crowd has picked up, Mark, since our first pitch of the game. A lot of people thinking that maybe the weather will hold out.
Jackson checks his man on second. 1-1's fouled again. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. If there's any one thing I love about the Firecracker, outside of some of the typical matchups that lead to some of these great rivalries, these are the biggest crowds of the year that we have. This tournament is such a spectacle in town, and it's just remarkable. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Jackson looking for his third K to end the top of the 4th. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And there's the third strikeout. It ends the top half of the 4th. 1 run on the power of a hit, no errors, and a man left standing in scoring position on second base. We're at halftime of the ball game, if you will, folks. 3.5 out of 7 regulation innings have been played. We're all square at 1 aside. We'll be right back in just a few moments with the bottom half of the 4th. Petrie, Assumption, and Paris are due up. You're listening to the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org. With more than
You heard it, folks. God bless America, signifying halftime of the ball game, if you will. 3.5 innings out of 7 in regulation have been played. And at the end of 3.5, we're all square at 1 run on either side. The Hardhats run came in the bottom half of the 3rd. A 2-out solo blast over the left field fence by Zach Solano to put the Hardhats up 1-0. And then Spencer Smith-Baker, the designated hitter, follows through with men on the corners, gets an RBI ground out with 1 out in the top of the 4th. To square us up at 1. Numbers across the board through 3.5 innings. 4 post 22. It's a run on a pair of hits with no errors. And for the Rocky Mountain Lobos, it's 1 run on 1 hit and no blemishes on defense. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you for all the action here in the Firecracker Tournament, the 43rd running of this spectacle here in our community of Rapid City. And the Hardhats, the last undefeated team here in pool play at 5-0, taking on the defending champion of this tournament, the Rocky Mountain Lobos, who come into this game at 4-1 in their Firecracker experience this season. Eric Petrie, Zach Sumption, Timmy Paris are due up here in the bottom half of the 4th. Eric Petrie, the only one of those 3 gentlemen with a hit in this ball game. That was in his first at-bat back in the bottom of the 1st. Sam Sanchez back on the mound for Rocky Mountain, and his first pitch misses low to Petrie, the DH, for ball 1. Sanchez has 3 strikeouts. He's allowed the 1 home run and only walked 1. Here's his 1-0. Petrie checks his swing, but it's a called strike, and the count evens up at 1-1. That was an off-speed pitch at his knees, just clipped the outside corner. Ball and a strike from Sanchez. He deals to Petrie. That pitch skips in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Zach Sumption and Timmy Paris on deck. Both gentlemen are strikeout victims of Sanchez. 2-1 to Petrie. Misses a little too far inside, and the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. And the 3-1 is swung on and foul tipped into the glove. And the count goes full. Petrie came into the ballgame hitting .390. His average will rise just a little bit, 1-for-1 at this point with a single. His payoff pitch is swung on, and it's looped high in the air to left. Charging in from left is Luchuk. He's underneath it, and he makes the catch. So it's an F7 in the scorebook. 1 up, 1 down for the post-22 Hardhats on offense. Will now bring us to Zach Sumption, the left fielder. And Sumption came into this game with 0.003 of a percentage point higher than Cooper Bowman for batting average at .447 compared to Bowman's .444. Sumption 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and the first pitch buzzes the tower high and inside, and he's 1-0. 1 out, base path empty here in the bottom of the 4th. Sanchez back to work quickly, and the 1-0 is swung on and missed on a breaking pitch low and away. 1-1. 1-1 to Sumption. Swung on, and the ball is fouled to the right of our press box. Ball and 2 strikes and out of the Hardhats left fielder. 1-2 to Sumption. Misses upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 50th pitch of the ball game about to come out of the hand of Sam Sanchez in the start. He deals his 2-2. Swung on, and the ball's pushed high in the air to right field. The ball has some legs on it, but it's going to tail foul and into the Rocky Mountain bullpen. Count holds even at 2-2. Timmy Paris patiently waiting in the on-deck circle. The second of 3 strikeouts issued by Sanchez in the start for Rocky Mountain. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count to Sumption. Batting in the 5-hole tonight for the Hardhats. And Sanchez tucks his deuces. And that misses low and away. Count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Sanchez deals his payoff pitch. Swung on, and it's fouled, so Sumption stays alive. Ball goes off the top of catch 22 with a massive thud. The team store for post 22. Shameless plug for our merchandise. You want to go down and grab some post 22 swag, head on to catch 22. Payoff number 2 to Sumption. Misses low and away for ball 4. So Zach Sumption draws a 1-out walk. He trots 90 feet up the base path to first, and that'll bring up Timmy Paris. Paris on the ballgame 0 for 1 with the strikeout, number 2 out of 3 that have been issued by Sanchez in the start. Good to see Paris starting to hit again on a consistent basis. Comes into the ballgame batting .302. First pitch. Low and away, and the ball skips to the backstop. And Sumption's going to advance on the pass ball. So the pitch was low, but off the paraphernalia of Fisher. So the pass ball moves Sumption to scoring position, and Paris has a 1-0 count to work with. One ball, no strikes to the Hardhats catcher. Sumption on second gets a look from Sanchez. 1-0, a called strike at the knees of Paris, and the count evens up at 1-1. Pitch may have broken the inside corner of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Luke Ferdinand, the lefty, on deck. Next pitch, low and inside to Paris, and his count balloons to 2-1. Ferdinand, the first baseman, 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. 2 balls and a strike to count here to Paris, and Sanchez deals. Called strike on a breaking pitch, a very well-placed breaking pitch. And the count evens up at 2-2. Paris hoping to avoid being a strikeout victim for a second time in this ballgame. There's a fake to second, so Sumption retreats. We don't get a throw, and we still wait for a 2-2 throw. Sanchez deals to Paris, swung on, and it's fouled. And the ball goes out into Rapid Creek, so Paris stays alive. Two balls and 2 strikes to count. And time is called for a brief moment by Paris as he tries to rearrange his batter's box. 2-2. And Sanchez deals. Low and inside, and it skips away again off the pads of Fisher, the catcher. And on another pass ball, Sumption's going to take third. So the count goes full for Paris. And Sumption is 90 feet away from giving the Hardhats their second lead of the ball game as we're deadlocked at 1. Payoff pitch from Sanchez to Paris. Swung on, and it's chopped foul, third base side, and Paris keeps the battle going. Sanchez, by the way, just threw his 60th pitch. He's been throwing quite a lot of pitches this inning. Payoff number 2. Low and away, ball 4. So Paris draws a 1-out walk. It'll be men on the corners, and a pinch runner, Carter Deming, is going to come out and run for Paris. So it'll be men on the corners with 1 out. Deming to courtesy run. That is one of the rules in this tournament. Only the catcher can be substituted for a courtesy runner on the base path. And every team has taken advantage of that rule. So it's men on the corners for Luke Ferdinand. He's looking for his first hit of the ball game, and it would surely knock in a run. The sacrifice fly is also in effect. There's only 1 out. So as long as Ferdinand doesn't hit into a double play, he pretty much could score a run. For post 22. We're knotted up at 1. There's 1 out, and men on the corners here in the bottom of the 4th. 6th game of Firecracker action for both sides. Sanchez checks down to first. It's not there in time. Rocky Mountain came in with a 4-1 record. Post 22, the final undefeated team at 5-0. And what a nail-biter they're in right now. Sanchez, another check to first. It's not there in time. And they tried a delayed throwback to catch Deming off guard, and it didn't work. Deming takes a fairly sizable lead over at first. Sanchez gives him a look. And finally, first pitch to Ferdinand is low for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Ferdinand, who again is 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. Deming 90 feet to his right on first. Sumption 90 feet to his left on third. Sumption the most immediate threat on the base path. 1-0. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air. Left field side. It's in foul territory. The third baseman, Stevens, makes the catch in foul territory. And that's a tough break for post 22. 2 outs and men on the corners. It'll bring us to Justin Kramer. Kramer on the ball game is 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field. It was a very well hit ball, but it was right to the center fielder in Hines. Carter Deming on first, Zach Sumption on third, Justin Kramer's in the batter's box. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. We're knotted up at 1. And the first pitch to Kramer is in there for a called strike. If Kramer's the last out, 6, 7, and 8 are due up in the top of the 5th for the Lobos. Here's the 0-1. Buzzes the tower high and inside, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. If Kramer, however, does keep the inning going, Connor King's on deck. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out to left. 1-1. Swung on, and it's fouled. First base side out of play. Ball and 2 strikes now to the Hardhats third baseman. One ball and 2 strikes. Sanchez trying to get out of the inning, and he deals. Runner goes, and it's fouled. Ball and 2 strikes still to Justin Kramer. Sanchez was looking for his 4th strikeout in the start. It would come at a colossal time for his team. It's a man 90 feet away from giving the Hardhats the lead. 1-2 to Kramer. Caught him looking. Strike 3 with a breaking pitch at his knees, and that will end the threat. 4th K in the book for Sanchez, and the Hardhats strand the go-ahead run 90 feet away from home plate. No runs, no hits, no errors were charged to Rocky Mountain. 2 men left on the base path, 190 feet away from giving the Hardhats the lead. And at the end of 4 full frames, we are still knotted up at 1 run on either side of the scoreboard. We'll be right back in just a few moments with the top of the 5th. You're listening from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box to ESPN Radio Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
Holden Jackson is back to the bump for Post 22 as he will face 6, 7, and 8 in the Rocky Mountain batting order, starting off with the shortstop Adam Cornell. 4 innings are in the books. We're knotted up at a run on either side of the scoreboard. Numbers across for Rocky Mountain. It's a run on a hit with no errors. Post 22 a run on a pair of hits. No blemishes on defense. First pitch from Jackson to Cornell, the shortstop, is fouled and once again hits catch 22. So another shameless plug for our merchandise. Head to Catch 22, get some Post 22 swag, and show your support of the Hardhats.
Some Post 22 what?
Swag.
Thank you.
It's the new hip terminology of this era. Here's the 0-1. High and inside, the count evens up to a ball and a strike. We actually started that as a hashtag last year. Hannah, who does our social media, made the hashtag 22swag. It was pretty good. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. Ball and 2 strikes now, the count here to Adam Cornell, the shortstop. Holden Jackson is also looking for his 4th strikeout of this start. He gets his sign from Paris. Full windup, 1-2. Missed low and inside, and the count evens up at 2. Cornell, Nelson, and Fisher, the 3 gentlemen scheduled to hit. 2-2 to Cornell. Upstairs, and the count goes full. Jackson's breaking pitch didn't break down like he had intended it to. So a big payoff pitch here for Holden Jackson. And 3-2. Swung on, and the ball's pushed high in the air to right. Solano's on his horse, and he's going to let the ball drop in front of him for a base hit. It was either try to make the shoestring catch or make the smart play, and that's exactly what Solano did. So it's a leadoff single on a full count for Adam Cornell. That'll bring us up to the lefty in the 7-hole, first baseman Cade Nelson. Nelson, the lefty, 0 for 1 with a backwards K in the scorebook. He was actually the first of 3 Holden Jackson strikeouts in the ballgame. First pitch. Breaking ball low. Paris got the block, though, but hanging on at first is Cornell. Ball and no strikes to count here to Nelson.
He didn't give any indication of bunting on that particular pitch. Left-handed batter, they may let him swing away or try a hit and run here in one of these pitches.
Ball and no strikes to count. Check down to first is not there in time. And it looks like Cornell is writhing a little bit as he dove back into first. And he's down, and Tia, the trainer for Post 22, is going to come out with Coach Hackett of Rocky Mountain following her. I got to tell you, Tom, that is so weird to see that, but we've seen it over the last 2 seasons, particularly with some Post 22 players where they dive back into a bag and they seriously injure their shoulders some of these times. I mean, it's remarkable because I don't think I've ever seen this many shoulder injuries, or upper body injuries for that matter, on routine slides back into first or slides into a bag.
Cornell is laying flat on his back, and they're moving his right arm. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m., the Hardhats take on Eden Prairie, Minnesota. That'll be another huge game in this Firecracker tournament, the last of 5 games tomorrow. And don't forget, fans, the fireworks are tomorrow night, Monday night. They begin right after the game, 7 o'clock, post 22, and Eden Prairie. Tuesday, of course, we have the placement games. The 7th place game will be at 9:30 in the morning. The 5th place game at noon. The 3rd place game at 2:30, and the championship game at 5 to end the Firecracker tournament on the 4th of July on Tuesday.
Cornell is still down on the ground, and again, Tia Furman, the trainer for Post 22, is giving him a look, and now he's helped up, so that's good to see. He's just stretching his arm out a little bit, it looks. Again, Tom, very awkward to see these injuries with gentlemen sliding into base getting hurt. And it's one thing if you're going full blast stealing a base, or you're trying to stretch a single into a double, but on a pickoff, you're not necessarily going full blast or full steam ahead. You know, you're diving back only a couple of feet.
And there isn't a lot of give to those bases. I mean, those bases are anchored into the ground, and they don't move around that much.
So it looks like we're back to it. A ball and no strikes is the count here to Nelson. And again, it looks like Cornell is okay over at first, trying to get back from that pickoff. Nobody's come in to pinch run for him, so he's still there at first. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th. Post 22 and Rocky Mountain knotted up at 1. Quite the exhilarating baseball game we have here. Check down to first is not there in time. And Cornell a little slow to get up, but he's all right. Still waiting on that 1-0 pitch here to Nelson. And we get it. And it's low for ball 2. 2-0 now the count here to Cade Nelson, the left-handed hitting first baseman for Rocky Mountain. Cornell takes his lead. This could be a fun game of cat and mouse to watch between Jackson and Cornell. 2-0. Misses low. Pitch is blocked. And holding at first is Cornell. 3 balls and no strikes now to Nelson.
Holden hasn't walked anybody in the game. He has 1 hit batsman. And he's starting to dig a little bit of a hole here for himself in the 5th inning.
3-0 pitch is low for ball 4. So there is his first walk of the ball game. Men on first and second now. Still no one out. And now Coach Jason Hers, who's the pitching coach at Post 22, is going to come out and have a quick word with his entire infield. And Tom, with a tie game, no outs, men on first and second, you can only assume that there is going to be a bunt laid down here.
You would think that would be the percentage play. The number 9 hitter would bat next. If they complete the sacrifice, that would put runners at second and third. You'd have the number 9 hitter up who struck out in the 3rd inning. So let's see how Coach Hackett plays it here for Rocky Mountain.
Garrett Fisher, the catcher, is now up. He has men on first and second. Nelson's on first. Cornell in scoring position on second. We have a 1-1 ball game. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th. Fisher is 0 for 1. He flew out to right field his last at the plate. First pitch. He shows bunt. It's a called strike. He pulled back. So fastball right down the middle. No balls and a strike to count here to Fisher.
Hardhats had Ferdinand charging in from first base. They want to bunt the ball to the left of the mound if they can on this bunt.
Ferdinand is in on the grass. He's parallel with Jackson on the mound. 0-1 pitch is low. Parrish gets his block, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. And Fisher pulled back his bunt attempt. First and second, no one out. Here in the top of the 5th, 1-1 is the score between Rocky Mountain and Post 22. Rocky Mountain with a great opportunity to move 2 runners into scoring position, but they have to get this bunt down. Ferdinand again in on the grass. Jackson deals the 1-1. Bunt is dropped. It comes to Jackson. He fields it. The throw to first is in time. So it's a 1-3 sacrifice executed to perfection for Rocky Mountain. There's one man out and two men in scoring position, and that'll bring us to the left-handed hitting Connor Luchuk, the left fielder who, as Tom mentioned earlier, struck out in his first at-bat.
Now the Hardhats are going to bring the infield in all the way around to the edge of the grass in this 1-1 game.
Trying to prevent the run from scoring with the infield in. Outfield is at its normal depth. First pitch to Luchuk. Curveball, called strike. Right at his belt, 0-1. Cornell is 90 feet away from giving Rocky Mountain a 2-1 lead. 90 feet behind him, Cade Nelson on second. Infield's in. Jackson sets, full windup for him. Here's his 0-1. Breaking pitch, just rides inside, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike.
Connor King has moved over towards right center field, out in center field. Sumption straight away and left, so there's a gap in left center field for this left-handed batter. Look at Connor even move further towards right center.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung on. Ball's popped up into left field. Sumption comes in to charge. Sumption makes the catch. Tagging up at third and immediately retreating because of a great throw from Sumption is Cornell. Paris gets a block on the throw. Nobody advances. It's a fly out for Connor Luchuk. 2 outs. 2 men in scoring position. Back to the top of the order we go to Jeff Hoggett. So a big defensive play here for post 22. And that'll bring up Hoggett, who's 0 for 2 with a fly out to left and a ground out to short. And now everybody will go to their normal depth at their respective positions. It's only one more out needed to get out of this jam. So it's still second and third. Jackson back at the top of the order facing Hoggett. And his first pitch. Breaking ball, missed low. 1-0 the count. If Hoggett keeps the inning going, Hayden Hines, the center fielder, is on deck. He's the only run that's come in to score for this Rocky Mountain club, and Coach Hackett's going to have a quick word with Hoggett. Should Hoggett be the final out, the Hardhats will go to 9-1-2. So that's Connor King, and then back to the top to Walker Paz and Zach Solano, scheduled to hit in the bottom half of this fifth inning. As it stands, it's men on second and third with 2 outs, and we're all square at 1 aside. Hardhats win. They'll play for the championship of the Firecracker Tuesday night, regardless of what happens tomorrow against Eden Prairie. 1-0 from Jackson. Swung on and fouled. And the count evens up to a ball and a strike for Hoggett. Eden Prairie won both of their games today, so they'll come into tomorrow's matchup at 7 o'clock with a 5-1 record. Here's the 1-1 to Hoggett. Upstairs, 2 balls and a strike.
And their only loss in the tournament to this Rocky Mountain team when they lost by a score of 5-2 on Saturday.
2 balls and a strike to count. And here comes the 2-1. And it hit him. It did not go off of his bat. It went off of him. The second hit batsman of the ball game for Holden Jackson. When it comes with 2 outs, which you hate to see. And now the bases are jacked, and that's going to bring up Hayden Hines, the center fielder.
Well, defensively, of course, you can't walk the next guy, but defensively, it does set up a force at any base, which helps out the infield.
Hines is 0 for 1 with a ground out to third. He was hit by a pitch. He has the only Rocky Mountain run, and his first pitch is inside for ball 1. He is the other gentleman, as I mentioned, that Jackson hit. So a ball and no strikes is count. 2 outs, bases loaded. We're knotted up at 1 here in the top of the 5th. The Hardhats are trying to keep it that way. 1-0. Missed low and away, and he didn't fish. 2-0. It was a good pitch by Jackson on 1-0, and you saw Hines track that, thinking of a swing. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Full windup for Jackson, and he deals his 2-0. Swung on, and the ball's popped up. Foul territory. Is it still in play? Ferdinand charges, and it is in the stands. Ran into the meshing over there. And it's 2 balls and a strike. So 2-1 the count here to Hines. A base hit, and Rocky Mountain will have the lead. We are knotted up at 1 here in the top of the 5th. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 2-1 from Jackson. Called, strike 2 at his knees. And the count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And if Jackson could get that 4th strikeout, it would be in the most clutch of circumstances. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. Here's his 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and it's just fought off. Fouled to the backstop, and that was full-on protection swing from Hines. He reached out to grab any piece of that ball he could. And we hold the 2-2. Jackson looking to get out of the jam. Here's his 2-2 again. Swung on, and it's fouled again. And just another reason for everybody's blood pressure to continuously rise. Bases are loaded, 2 outs, top of the 5th. We're knotted up at 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count, as it has been for 2 pitches. They've both been fouled off by Hines. Jackson again, deals 2-2. Just missed low. The whole crowd thought he rung him up with a backwards K. Instead, it's a full count. Oh boy, that was too close for comfort. Jackson thought he got him on that curveball. And now he has a colossal payoff pitch coming up. Jackson deals. Missed low, ball 4, and it's an RBI walk for Hines. And Rocky Mountain, for the first time in the ballgame, has the lead. It's 2-1. Well, that's an unfortunate sequence of events there, Tom.
Tough pitch on that 2-2 pitch. Very, very close. Judd Thompson is the ball and strike umpire tonight. Clyde Milslegel on the bases.
So now 2 outs, and the first pitch here to Mata Lloyd is popped up, right field. Underneath it is Solano. He makes the catch, and that'll end it. So a big run surrendered to Rocky Mountain on the power of 1 hit. There were no Hardhats errors, and the bases were left loaded. And at the end of 4.5, Rocky Mountain, for the first time tonight, is in the lead, 2-1. A very narrow advantage. We'll be right back with the bottom half of the 5th inning. Connor King, Walker Paz, Zach Solano due up in that order. I'll be right back in just a few moments. You're listening from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here at the Fitz to ESPN Radio Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball. Well, Sam Sanchez now has a lead to protect for the first time in this ballgame for Rocky Mountain. He's back on the mound for his 5th inning of work as the starter for this Lobos club, and he will take on Connor King, Walker Paz, and Zach Solano. 9-1-2 in the Hardhats order. It is now 2-1. Rocky Mountain's on top thanks to a 2-out RBI walk to Hayden Hines. His first pitch to Connor King misses low for ball 1.
It's kind of fun to look out at the scoreboard and see what a different line score compared to last night's messy line score we had.
1-0 is a called strike at the knees of King.
Very clean tonight. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for Rocky Mountain. A run on 2 hits, no errors for the Hardhats.
1-1 to King. He shows bunt, pulls back, pitches high and away for a 2-1 count. And last night, Yakima 7 runs, 9 hits, 8 errors. Post 22, 9 runs, 8 hits, 7 errors. My goodness. 2-1 to King, misses low and inside and skips away. 3 balls and a strike now the count to the Hardhats center fielder. If he gets the leadoff walk, that's big because King has some twin turbos in his cleats. He can fly on the base path if needed. 3-1 is a called strike. King threw his bat. He thought it was ball 4. Instead, he has to wait for another pitch. Full count. On deck is Walker Paz. Payoff pitch to King. Up and away, ball 4. And that time he can throw the bat and trot to first. So a leadoff walk for King. Puts the tying run on the base path. And that'll bring up Walker Paz. Paz on the ballgame's 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts, 1 to right and 1 to left. King was 0 for 1 with a flyout to left. He'll remain 0 for 1, but out of base on balls. Paz shows bunt, but it goes foul, first base side. And the count starts off for the Hardhats second baseman at 0-1. It was a very delayed bunt coming from Walker. He didn't show it the whole way like a traditional sacrifice. And he was trying to push it up that first baseline. We'll see if he tries that again. 0-1's his count. Check to first, not there in time. Paz did show bunt, but the ball wasn't thrown to him, so it was kind of moot. No balls and a strike. Another check to first, not there in time. And King stays put. Sanchez has quite the fast pickoff move for a right-hander. Not easy considering you have to throw across your body into the other side. Paz shows bunt. He drops it right back to third. The throw to first is in time. For a minute, nobody was covering third, but King stays at second. So a very well executed 5-3 sacrifice for Walker Paz. It'll advance King 180 feet away from tying the ball game up at second, and it brings up Zach Solano, who's already gone yard in this contest, with a solo blast over the left field wall back in the bottom of the third. So 1 out and a man on second. And it's up to the human muscle, as Tom calls him, to flex once again, and it looks like we'll have a conference on the mound.
That was a good bunt by Walker. It was an excellent play by Stevens, the third baseman, because it almost got past him. I mean, Walker almost was able to bunt that ball past the in-charging third baseman Stevens, but as you said, for a brief moment, there was nobody covering third base, and the catcher, Fisher, raced down the line to make sure there was somebody there because Connor had thoughts of heading to third base until he saw the catcher getting over there. That would have been in a big extra base if Connor could have gotten all the way to third.
Definitely would have been colossal, that's for sure.
Well, I guess you couldn't ask for any better hitters coming up now with the tying run at second. You've got Solano, Bowman, and Petrie.
Solano has 7 home runs on the season. He hit his 7th in this contest. And his first pitch is high for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Solano. 1 for 2 with that solo blast. He is the second best batting average. The 5th best batting average with runners in scoring position on the team. He fouls off his next pitch. Count evens up at 1-1. But when he has a runner on either second or third, he's hitting .406. And he came into the ballgame hitting .390, so he's not too far off of that. Check to second. Not there. And King is safe. It's your favorite, Tom. The check down at second.
Well, this isn't a bad time to pull that because it's a 2-1 ball game. This is a well-coached team, too, from Rocky Mountain. They can execute that.
Next pitch is fouled again by Solano, and the count goes to 1-2.
It's one thing being able to execute it and know how to do it, as we've seen a lot of teams that look very weak on those particular plays, and it hurts them more than it helps them.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count here to Solano. He has Connor King in scoring position on second with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th, And the Hardhats trail for the first time tonight. A narrow 2-1 score. 1-2 to Solano. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. He got burned with the fastball, and that's the 5th strikeout for Sam Sanchez. 2 down. King still on second, and that'll bring up Cooper Bowman.
Cooper looking for just that one at bat. You know, the guy had a 3-run home run here a game ago or so, and you know he's acting like he's in some kind of season-long slump. He just needs a base hit to relax himself.
Bowman showed bunt but pulled it back. It was a called strike. 0-1 the count here. Bowman was trying to catch the infield defense asleep and bunt for a hit. Bowman with runners in scoring position, a .386 batting average. A little lower than his average of the season, coming in at .444.
You want Cooper swinging at this. You don't want him to bunt himself on. You've got your top hitter and one of your top hitters and leading RBI man.
Here comes the 0-1. He shows bunt. He drops it down the third base line. King comes safe at third, and Bowman safe at first. So he drops the bunt for a hit. He's out of his schneid. It's his first hit in 2 games.
And, you know, it's great. It was a great bunt single by Cooper and got the runner over to third. But, again, there are 2 outs. So fly ball, it puts the pressure on Petrie now to get that base hit to drive in the run. But it was an excellent bunt by Bowman.
Well, Petrie can deal with the pressure, particularly in this game, because he's already hit once with 2 outs. So let's see if he can do it again. He's 1 for 2. Men are on the corners. Connor King, 90 feet to his left, away from tying this ball game at 2. First pitch to Petrie. Misses low, and it skips to the backstop. And King's going to score. Bowman's going to take second. We're tied at 2.
Boy, that bunt was a heck of a play by Bowman. You know, I did get the runner to third, and you don't count on that happening. You don't count the pitcher throwing a wild pitch or something like that to tie the game.
And that one was a wild pitch. There was nothing that Fisher could have done to really block that. It took a skip, and now they're going to intentionally walk Petrie, so they're not even going to throw to him. All you need now is the signal. Throw up 4 or whatever else you use in the plethora of signs in American Sign Language, and that'll bring us to Zach Sumption with men on first and second and 2 outs. So an IBB in the book for Petrie, an intentional base on balls. Sumption comes up. First pitch to Sumption's fouled. 0-1 his count. 0 for 1 his stat line. He struck out in his first at-bat. He walked the last time he was up, but he was stranded 90 feet away from breaking a deadlock. Back in the bottom half of the 4th. 2 outs. Now we're tied at 2. Pitch swung on, and it's a line right to second. It's short hopped on the play by Mata. Lloyd's throw to first is in time, and that'll end it. So the Hardhats get that all-important tying run on the board on the power of 1 hit. That was a bunt single. There were no errors charged to Rocky Mountain, and there were 2 men left on the base path, 1 in scoring position. 5 innings have been played, folks. We've got ourselves a nail-biter. We're knotted up at 2 at the top of the 6th inning, coming right up. Holden Jackson will reprise his pitching duties. We'll be back in just a few moments with that and more here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
For anybody that says baseball isn't exciting, you're surely missing out because this game in front of us is just nuts. 2-2 is the score through 5 innings of play. Post 22 gets the game-tying run on a wild pitch that sends Connor King from third to home. And just like that, we have even more nervous baseball to come. We're in the top of the 6th inning, 2-2 the score between Rocky Mountain and Post 22. Numbers across the board for Rocky Mountain, 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors. And for Post 22, 2 runs on 3 hits with no errors. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you in the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box here on ESPN Radio Rapid City. Holden Jackson to take on 4, 5, and 6 in the Rocky Mountain order, starting off with Spencer Smith-Baker, the DH. And his first pitch rides upstairs for ball 1. Smith-Baker on the ball game's 0 for 2, but he had an RBI ground out back in the top half of the 4th to put Rocky Mountain on the board at first. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Smith-Baker, swung on and missed. A high changeup, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. One and one now the count here to Smith-Baker. Top of the 6th, no one out. 1-1, swung on and missed. And now he's behind, a ball and 2 strikes. It'll be Spencer Smith-Baker currently up with a 1-2 count. Cody Stevens, the third baseman. Adam Cornell, the shortstop. The 3 gentlemen scheduled to hit for Rocky Mountain. Full windup for Jackson, looking for that 4th strikeout. 1-2, high and away. And the count evens up 2-2. Cody Stevens on deck, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Adam Cornell in the hole, 1 for 2 with a single. And the second of 2 Lobos runs scored. Jackson taking his time. 2-2 pitch to Smith-Baker. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that's his 4th strikeout in this start. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 6th. Here comes Cody Stevens, the third baseman. Oh, Jackson realized early that pitching up high was the ticket. 3 swings and misses upstairs. So now here comes Stevens, and his first pitch is fouled. Right to the backstop. 0-1 the count. Stevens again 0 for 2. A ground out to third. He struck out. The third of 4 now holding strikeouts. Jackson a full windup. 0-1 pitch called. Strike 2 on a fastball outside corner. And he's ahead 0-2. Adam Cornell, the shortstop, on deck. He's 1 for 2 with a single. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And there's his 5th strikeout and 2nd in a row. 2 up, 2 down. Here comes Adam Cornell. Cornell singled the last time he was up. He's 1 for 2. First pitch from Jackson. Swung on, and it's fouled. And he's behind 0-1. How big of a start is this turning into for Holden Jackson tonight? 2 runs on 2 hits. He's only walked 1. He's hit 2 batters. He struck out 5. His 0-1 misses up high, and the count evens up to a ball and a strike. If Cornell's the final out, the Hardhats will go to Paris, Ferdinand, and Kramer in the bottom of the 6th. 1-1, called strike at the belt outside corner. Ball and 2 strikes now to Cornell. Jackson's a pitch away from 3 up, 3 down, all on K's. Jackson looks into Paris. Here's his 1-2. Upstairs, and the count goes to 2-2. If we keep going in this inning, Cade Nelson, the left-handed hitting first baseman's on deck. Cornell in a 2-2 deadlock right now with Jackson. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Holden Jackson. 4, 5, and 6 in this inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. And at the end of 5.5, we're still knotted up at 2. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Paris, Ferdinand, and Kramer scheduled to hit for Post 22. We'll be right back in just a few moments here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
What a baseball game we have on our hands. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. We're knotted up at 2. There's not a single error to be had. And Tom, we're in the middle of one nasty pitching duel between Sam Sanchez and Holden Jackson. This is insane.
And we've had some umbrellas pop up into the crowd, so apparently we have some sprinkles coming down right now, several all the way around the grandstand. The teams are tied 2-2. If Post 22 could get a quick run here, let the skies Noah build his ark. I mean, now the home plate umpire, the pitcher, has come to the sidelines, right to the first base foul line to talk to one of his coaches, and the home plate umpire, Judd Thompson, has gone over to see what this is all about.
Must have been something equipment related, or not too sure.
Sanchez was smiling, kind of laughing about it, so whatever was the problem, it's been taken care of now as Timmy Paris steps in.
Paris on the ball game is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Carter Deming came into courtesy run for him, so we might see that again if he's on the base path. First pitch from Sam Sanchez, which, by the way, is number 86 for the Rocky Mountain starter, is high and inside for ball 1. He is quick to work. His 1-0 pitch, a nice breaking ball, called strike. 1-1, that broke late. So a ball and a strike the count here to Timmy Paris. 1-1, misses low. 2 balls and a strike now the count. It'll be Timmy Paris, Luke Ferdinand, and Justin Kramer scheduled to hit in this bottom half of the 6th. We're deadlocked at 2. 2-1 to Paris. Swung on and just fouled. And the count evens up at 2-2. Sam Sanchez is looking for his 6th strikeout as well. Holden Jackson put on a strikeout clinic in the top half of this inning. Trying to follow suit. 2-2 is just fought off. And the count will remain even, I should say, at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Tell you, this could get really interesting. If Timmy can get on and we use that courtesy runner, that could be a huge advantage.
2-2. Just missed inside. Did he go? They're saying he didn't swing. Paris buckled as he tried to avoid the inside pitch. His bat didn't cross home plate. So the count goes full. A big payoff pitch here to start off this bottom half of the 6th. 3-2. Swung on and it's just fought off. He jammed him in on his hands. And the count holds full. That was the 92nd pitch of this start, by the way, for Sam Sanchez. Hats off to both of these pitchers. We're just watching some great baseball tonight. Next payoff, caught him looking, strike 3. It was a breaking pitch, low and away, and that's the 6th strikeout for Sam Sanchez. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats here in the bottom of the 6th will bring us to Luke Ferdinand. The wind is now blowing out to right field. First pitch to Ferdinand, swung on and it's drilled into right. It's going to drop for a base hit. It goes all the way to the warning track. Ferdinand turns on his jets. He rounds first and he heads to second with a 1-out stand-up double. There's that wind playing a factor. That first pitch was absolutely torched to right center, and the go-ahead runs 180 feet away from scoring, and it brings up Justin Kramer. So a big double for Luke Ferdinand with 1 out. And Kramer, looking for his first hit, is now tasked with knocking him in. And he's going to meet with Coach Messer right now. Be interesting to see what they're talking about, Tom. And I know you wouldn't normally go to a bunt in this situation, but if anybody can bunt for a hit on this team, it's Kramer because of his speed. So you never know. That could be in play here.
I think that's very much in play. I think this is a little bit different situation than Cooper Bowman had last inning because there were 2 outs. There's only 1 out here, and now the pinch runner is coming out.
They're going to throw Riley McSherry out there
to run for Ferdinand. So Ferdinand will have to come out of the game. He was at first base, which means we'll probably see Jack Sorensen defensively, but more speed at second base now with Riley.
So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out here with Kramer. He's 0 for 2. Like we said, we wouldn't be surprised to see a bunt for a hit over here. First pitch, low and inside. He didn't show bunt. Ball 1. For what it's worth, if he wanted to bunt, he's got an alleyway, first base side, all that real estate, because third base is almost on the grass in Stevens. 1-0. Swung on, and it's drilled to third. Stevens gets the scoop, tries to hold Riley at second. The throw to first is in time. So brilliant infield defense by Cody Stevens out at third to hold Riley at second. 2 down, still that man in scoring position. It's going to bring up Connor King for probably his most important at-bat of this ballgame.
Probably of his season so far. This is a big, big game and a big moment.
Sam Sanchez is about to throw his 97th pitch. It's his first one to Connor King, and it's a called strike. 0-1 the count here for King, who's 0 for 1 with a flyout, a walk, and a run scored. He had the tying run scored on that wild pitch back in the bottom of the 5th. 0-1. Just missed low and away, and the count evens up at 1-1. The scenario is 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. We're deadlocked at 2. Connor King is up with Riley McSherry, pinch running for Luke Ferdinand at second. A base hit will score McSherry. Here's the 1-1. Just missed low and away. 2 balls and a strike to King. And if King keeps the inning going, whether he walks or hits, Walker Paz is on deck. 2 balls and a strike the count. And the pitch. Just missed low and inside. 3-1. How's your blood pressure doing over there?
Good.
3-1. Swung on. Ball's popped up. Foul territory. First base side. The catcher, Fisher, is there. He makes the catch. And the Hardhats strand the go-ahead run 180 feet away from home in scoring position. So a pop 2 will end the bottom half of the 6th. No runs, no hits. 1 hit, the double from Ferdinand. No errors. And the go-ahead run stranded in scoring position. 6 innings in the books. We're deadlocked at 2. 1 more inning of regulation left between Rocky Mountain and Post 22. We'll be right back in just a few moments, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22, Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Jack Sorensen's gone into play first base for Post 22, and Ferdinand was lifted for the pinch runner in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the top of the 7th now. Holden Jackson comes out. He's given up 2 hits, 2 runs over 6 innings in his finest outing of the season. And he'll face the lower third of the batting order here for Rocky Mountain. Cade Nelson, the first baseman, left-handed batter, has been called out on strikes and drawn a walk. And the first pitch is hit to left field. Sumption is going back. He's there now, and he is short of the warning track in left center and makes the catch. Nelson with an opposite field drive to Sumption, 1 down in the Rocky Mountain 7th. And that'll bring up Garrett Fisher, the catcher. Number 8 hitter is flied to right and laid down a sacrifice bunt in the 5th inning. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on, a fly ball into shallow center field. King coming in towards right center, 2 down.
And he's done it on 2 pitches, Tom. This is insane.
That'll bring up Connor Luchuk, the left fielder. Luchuk has struck out and flied to left. I think Coach Hackett here is wanting to get a little time. He's getting somebody up in the bullpen down there for Rocky Mountain, and This will give him a little time to get a few more pitches down there.
The home plate umpire breaks it up. I think he caught on to that.
Luchuk has struck out and flied to left, and they've moved Connor King over to right center. Here's the pitch. Hits him. So with 2 outs, Luchuk is hit by the pitch. That's what Coach Hackett told him. Get hit by a pitch. So that's 3 of them now for Holden Jackson. Go along with a couple of walks. Go-ahead run is at first base with 2 outs. Sorensen will hold with the runner as Jeff Hoggett comes up. He has lined to left, grounded out to short. He's been hit by a pitch. And the first pitch is in the dirt and blocked by Timmy Paris. Ball 1.
Tom, we talk about how those hit by pitches can come back and haunt you, and here's hoping that with 2 outs it doesn't. Holden still has some leeway here with those 2 outs. He just needs 1. But here's hoping that hit batsman does not come back to haunt this team.
Well, the first one Rocky scored, the man reached on a hit batsman. He came around to score. Their second run was forced in on a bases-loaded walk, and there's a wild pitch in the dirt, bouncing away from Paris, and down to second base goes Luchuk. And now Jason Hers is going to take a trip to the mound here with 2 out, and all of a sudden the go-ahead run at second here for Rocky Mountain. One of the things that is at stake here tonight, too, is the fact the Hardhats are 18-0 at home. They have not lost a home game this season. And when you look at this score right now and the situation, Rocky very close to taking the lead here in the 7th inning. Holden Jackson with a 2-ball, no strike count on Hoggett. Here's the set, the pitch on the way. It's a strike. Hit the inside edge at the knees, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
That's a good pitch for Holden to come back on. Again, the hit batsman, 2 balls in a row to the leadoff man in the order. Calm down, throw strikes. If the ball's put in play, let your defense do their job.
Wind is blowing out towards right, towards center at times. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it hit him. So runners at first and second. And Hayden Hines, the center fielder, will be the hitter.
Well, if there's any benefit here.
And Mitch Messer is coming out, so this is going to be all for Holden Jackson.
Well, unfortunate to see that he couldn't go the distance for his club. I mean, he threw 96 pitches, Tom, so it's still a very big start, and he's going to get a huge tap from everybody in that infield, and he's going to get a big standing ovation. Very rightfully deserved. I mean, Holden, outside of 4 hit batsmen, threw a gem of a ball game, and his teammates are mobbing him right now, and they're giving him taps all around. Coach Nick Ewing just stopped him. He gave him a couple of bumps on his hard hat, so good on the team to rally around Holden. But now, if I'm seeing this correctly, it's up to Dylan Ritchie to get the job done here for Post 22. So this is a big moment for this Hardhats club, especially putting Dylan Ritchie out there. Not the easiest of scenarios. But it goes back to what we were saying earlier. We said at the start of this game, all the Hardhats needed to do was win. It sounds so simple. It's so hard to do, and we're preaching that right now. This is proof. But again, for Dylan Ritchie, the easy part is you need to get this one out. The hard part is getting the actual out. And as we saw with Holden, that wasn't the easiest thing to do. So here's hoping that Dylan Ritchie sees some success in this relief appearance.
Rocky Mountain comes back and plays the 9 o'clock morning game tomorrow. Their only game. Everybody in contention just plays one game tomorrow. Rocky plays Yakima, which is 1-5 so far in the tournament. If the Hardhats win this game, then Eden Prairie would have to beat Rapid City tomorrow night if Rocky Mountain beats Yakima tomorrow to reach the finals, because Rocky Mountain has that win over Eden Prairie by a score of 5-2 yesterday morning. What a situation for young Dylan Ritchie to come in.
Dylan on the season has 11 1/3 innings of work under his belt. It'll be his 9th appearance of the season, his 8th in relief. He has a 2-0 record, so he's the pitcher of record as of right now for post 22. 11 strikeouts to 6 walks, a 5.56 ERA. And he comes in for Holden Jackson, went 6 2/3, 2 hits, 2 runs, all earned, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, but 4 hit batsmen on 96 pitches.
Hines, the number 2 hitter, right-handed batting center fielder, has grounded out to third, hit by a pitch in the 4th and scored, and then he walked with the bases loaded in the 5th inning. Ritchie out of the set, he delivers, and a fastball misses inside for ball 1. 2-2 the score here in the top of the 7th. Rocky Mountain batting with runners at first and second and 2 out. Sorensen up to the edge of the grass at first. The outfield is straight away. Here's the set by Dylan Ritchie. The right-hander's pitch. He misses low and inside, and the count goes to 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Ritchie a long look into Paris. Here's the set. The 2-0 pitch. Swung out a fly ball to center. King coming in. Out goes Paz. Paz will make the catch in shallow center field to retire the side. Heck of a job for Dylan Ritchie to come in. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Rocky Mountain is stranded 6 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Post 22 with a chance to win the game and clinch a spot in the championship game on Tuesday. Rocky Mountain 2, the Hardhats 2. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball from the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box right here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota.
Last half of the 7th coming up as Post 22 has a chance to win the game right now. As in the pitch is Tyler Mataloid. He moves in from second base for Rocky Mountain. And Laux has gone to second base for Rocky Mountain. Aaron Laux. Here's Walker Paz now to lead off here in the bottom half of the 7th. And the first pitch is popped foul, back and out of play.
By the way, Sam Sanchez, 6 innings pitched, 2 runs, all earned on 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, including 1 intentional walk on 101 pitches.
There is a long drive down towards the right field corner, but it's hooking foul. Walker just missed that. He was out in front of it just a hair. But as it got out towards the corner, you could see it hooking, and the count is 2 strikes.
That wind really played a factor there because Old Glory is blowing to right. That definitely had an effect.
Paz is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt, and he hits a fly ball into shallow center field. Now backing off is the center field, and the ball carried out there to Hines And one down. So Paz is retired. That brings up Zach Solano. Solano is grounded out to short. Hit his 7th home run of the season to open the scoring in the game over the left center field fence in the 3rd inning. Struck out in the 5th. The pitch is outside and low for ball 1. Right-hander Tyler Montaloid delivers. Foul back. 1 ball and 1 strike.
A lot of velocity here from Montaloid. You'd have to think that with this team, he's got to be in some kind of a relieving closing role as a pitcher because he's just throwing gas right now.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Montaloid is listed as 5'6" and 130 pounds. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Fly ball foul off to the right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hines is a very smart center fielder out there. I've watched him adjust his positioning with the wind. Pitch on the way is a check swing and a breaking ball. It just missed, and it's a full count to Solano as Cooper Bowman waits on deck. We just had a little lightning flash. 3 balls and 2 strikes. They were forecasting some showers possibly around 9. There's a fly ball to deep right center field. Back goes Hines. He's at the fence. He reaches out and he caught it. A sensational catch by Hines out in center field, just to the left of the 393 sign, to rob Cooper Bowman of most likely a triple and maybe an inside the park home run. A leaping catch by Hines, who was playing deep as we just talked about. He was adjusting his depth to the wind, and he made just a sensational catch on Solano. Boy, Solano just missed ending the game.
Wow, that's all I can say to that. Wow.
Here's a breaking ball into Cooper Bowman.
And even despite the fact that he was deep enough, he still had to get on his horse to make that catch. That was incredible.
And a breaking ball outside. Cooper has 1 hit in 2 at-bats, a bunt single in the 5th inning. What a game we've had here tonight. After last night, this game has been a delight. Pitch on the way and a foul. Backing out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs, nobody on, 2-2 the score. The pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right. Cooper hangs in with a count of 1-2. I really thought that had a chance, and even if the ball would have hit off the fence, it would have carried him so far away. There's a line drive into right field, a base hit for Bowman. Cooper takes a big turn, and he'll hold up. Bowman has his 2nd hit, a single to right with 2 outs, and here's Petrie.
Well, if there's anybody else on this team that can go yard, it's most certainly number 23. He's already got a big hit in this ball game already, and if he really gets a hold of one here with the way that this pitcher's throwing gas, this is right in Eric's wheelhouse.
Petrie a single to left, fly to left, drawn an intentional walk, and the throw to first base, and Bowman is back. 2-2, bottom of the 7th inning. Petrie looks like he's got a toothpick in his hands, swinging that bat around. Eric's ready. The pitch on the way, and it's a wild pitch, and down to second base with the winning run goes Bowman. Now let's see if they walk Petrie again. They walked him in this same situation in the 5th inning, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Petrie will get another intentional walk, 2nd time in as many at-bats, and Zach Sumption comes up with a chance to win the game. Zach has struck out, walked, grounded out to second. He's 0 for 2. Back after missing the last 2 games because of the flu. Wind is really gusting and blowing out to right field. The pitch squirts through the legs of the catcher again, and the runners move up. Bowman to third. He's the only one that's important. Doesn't mean anything. Petrie's at second. Now they have first base open, and Timmy Paris up, who has struck out twice and walked. Now let's see what they're going to pitch to Sumption or not. 1 ball and no strikes, and it appears that they are. Tyler Montaloid from the set. He delivers. Sumption swings and drives it out into right field, but backing off is Hoggett, and he makes the catch. Sumption lines out to right to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left on base. So post 22 now is stranded a total of 9 men in the game as we go extra innings. We head to the 8th. It's the Hardhats 2, Rocky Mountain 2. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio.
57701. You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
2-2 as we go to the 8th inning, and Dylan Ritchie, who came on to get that last out in the 7th inning, is back out on the mound here, and he'll face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Rocky Mountain. And Mark, I just like to contrast this game to the game we had last night. And again, both teams last night were playing hard. They were doing the best they could, but we had a error-filled walks, you name it. And tonight it's the exact opposite. It's really a delight to broadcast a game like this.
This is what baseball is all about. This is nerve-wracking. It is high-octane. It's exciting. It's nail-biting. Anything you want to say about this right now. It is just outstanding, the baseball that we have in front of us. And kudos to Rocky Mountain. They came in and competed with this team from the start of this ball game. I mean, good on both of these sides. The Hardhats shook off last night, and Rocky Mountain continued their excellence in this tournament, so good on both teams. This is great.
Well, here's the pitcher, Tyler Montaloid, and he hits a soft foul off to the right, and Sorensen couldn't quite reach it. 1 strike. Montaloid has flied to left center, single to right, and flied to right. He's 1 for 3. Again, this Rocky Mountain team doesn't have one player who graduated from high school this year. Here's the pitch. Fastball a bit high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the set. And the pitch. Breaking ball down in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Well, the fans who came out and watched last night's game and didn't come out and watch tonight's game, boy, it's hard to believe the difference. This Hardhat team looks very good tonight. Win or lose. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Line down the left field line. That's trouble. That'll roll down into the corner. Montaloid will have a leadoff double here to start the 8th inning. That's only the 3rd hit of the game for Rocky Mountain, and it brings up Spencer's. Well, nope, that'll bring up. We had Smith Baker, the DH, but he was lifted when they made the substitution. And this means we'll have the new second baseman coming up. And that's Aaron Laux. So he'll be batting for his first time in the game. And I think the Hardhats even here are going to have to look maybe at a possible bunt to get that runner to third and set up a situation where a fly ball could score a run. It forced post 22 to bring the infield in, and this is interesting strategy by the Hardhats. They walk Laux. Very interesting here. Laux had not batted yet in the game. And that brings up Cody Stevens, the third baseman, who has grounded out to third and struck out twice, and he's in a position now to bunt the ball with 2 on and nobody out. Here's the set by Ritchie and the pitch. Ball is bunted towards third, but foul. 1 strike.
If I'm Jack Sorensen, I need to creep up even more, because your goal in this bunt situation is to field the ball as quickly as possible to get that lead guy out at third. Kramer's not going to make a move for the ball. He's going to try and cover third. So if I'm Jack, I'm trying to creep up a little more. He's still a little too far back for me.
Well, that's why they're bunting the ball to third, because that forces Ritchie to make the play. Ritchie has got to field that bunt to the left of the mound. 1 strike the count. Interesting strategy here by Mitch Messer to walk Laux with nobody out and a runner at second. Here's the set. Around the bunt is Stevens. He's showing bunt all the way. The pitch on the way is bunted towards third and foul again. 2 strikes. Now, Coach Hackett of Rocky Mountain has a decision. Is he going to keep the bunt on or let him swing away?
Decisions.
Stevens, as you said, has struck out twice and grounded to third. That was all against Holden Jackson. Sorensen in on the grass at first again with 2 outs, or 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And a breaking ball. Strike 3 on the inside corner. Stevens, the 3rd time he has struck out tonight. And there's a first out of the inning, and it brings up Adam Cornell, the shortstop.
What a pitch from Dylan Ritchie. Broke from the batter to his inside. That was a textbook backwards K as it comes. What a pitch.
Cornell is 1 for 3 in the game. Right-handed batter, number 6 hitter. Here's the pitch. Fastball had him swinging. Cornell is hit back to the pitcher, singled to right, and scored in the 5th inning. Struck out swinging in the 6th. 1 strike. Mata Lloyd at second. Laux at first. Sorensen plays in back of the base runner now with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Strike 2 called on the inside corner at the knees. And it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the set. Look back at second by Ritchie. The pitch on the way. Struck him out. A high fastball, Cornell fans. So 2 on and 2 out. And Cade Nelson coming up, the left-handed batting first baseman. Called out on strikes in the 3rd. Walked in the 5th. Lined out to Sumption and left in the 7th. 0 for 2. Outfield is straight away. There are 2 outs. 2-2 here in the 8th inning. The pitch. A line drive out into center. Here comes King. He's getting to it. He dives. He caught it. Connor King with a shoestring catch in center field. Takes a hit away from Nelson. The fans giving Connor a standing ovation as he comes off the field. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Hardhats 2, Rocky Mountain 2, here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Well, Mark, I don't know if we could see two better catches by Hines of Rocky Mountain and King of the Hardhats in center field the last inning. Unbelievable catches by both center fielders.
That's just, these are kids that are relishing this moment right now. It's a big game for the Hardhats. It's an automatic berth to play for their tournament's title, and it's another chance for them to defend home turf. And both of these gentlemen on either side of the ball are embracing this moment. And this is what sports are all about. This is just insane. This is absolutely insane, what we're watching right now. And I know I've said that countless times already in this game, but there are only so many words that you can use to appropriately describe a situation like this. And right now, insane is the only thing coming to my mind. I mean, these players are just playing unconscious, is really what it is. Dylan Ritchie came out, was spectacular.
Number 19 has gone to left field here for Rocky Mountain. And leading off for the Hardhats is Timmy Paris, and he takes a strike. Timmy has struck out, walked, and been called out on strikes, so he's 0 for 2. Bottom of the 8th inning, and the pitch on the way is swung on, lined out into center field, and that is caught by the center fielder, Hines. My goodness.
What did I say this was? Insane, right? I said that multiple times. Yeah, that catch was nuts. That was insane. I'm going to say it again. That was just unreal.
Hines with 2 catches in the last 2 innings now. Here's the Jack Sorensen up, and he takes a half swing, and it's a strike up for his first time in the game, replacing Ferdinand in the lineup. Ferdinand was 1 for 3 with a double. Jack up for his first time in the game, hitting .322 with 3 home runs, and he hits a foul rolling off to the right of home plate. One out, nobody on. This is one of the best Legion games I have watched over the years. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out with a breaking ball. So Sorensen is down, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Justin Kramer, the third baseman, who has lined out to center, called out on strikes, and grounded out to third.
Well, if there's anybody in my last 2 years of covering post-22 baseball that has stepped up when a walk-off hit is needed, it's Justin Kramer. This is going to be a very fun at-bat to watch.
And Mata Lloyd delivers. Strike on the outside corner. 0-1. He came in last inning. Here's his 1-strike pitch to Kramer. Checks his swing and fouls it. And it's 0. Well, it counts 2 strikes or 1-1.
I thought it was a foul ball, so it should be 0-2. Yeah, that's what it is.
0-2, says Judd Thompson, the home plate umpire. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the windup by Mata Lloyd. The pitch on the way is swung on, rolled to second base off the end of the bat. Louts fields it and flips to first for the out. 1, 2, 3 innings, so we head to the 9th inning. At the end of 8, it's the Hardhats 2, Rocky Mountain 2. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots, he scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Well, we're all set for the top half of the 9th inning. This game's just going to keep going until somebody decides to end it. Dylan Ritchie's back on the mound once again for the Hardhats. He came in relief of Holden Jackson with only one out to register in the seventh, so he's pitched an inning and a third in relief. He struck out 2, and he hasn't allowed a run just yet. Numbers across the board heading into our second inning of free baseball for Rocky Mountain, the defending champion of the Firecracker. It's 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and for the Hardhats, 2 runs on 5 hits with no blemishes on defense. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you for all the action here on ESPN Radio Rapid City on 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. And Destin Heumann, our director, is tediously at work to my right, getting our online broadcast set and ready to rock. Dylan Ritchie will take on Garrett Fisher, the catcher. And his first pitch is a fastball called strike. 0-1 the count to Fisher, who is 0 for 2. Laid down a sacrifice bunt. He flew out to right and center field earlier in the contest. No balls and a strike from Ritchie, and he deals to Fisher way outside, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. This is quite the baseball game we have on our hands right now. Here comes the 1-1 from Ritchie. Swung on. Ball is lined over the head of Paz and into right field for a base hit. So the go-ahead run is on board. With a leadoff single, it'll bring us to Connor Luchuk, the left-handed left fielder. Luchuk on the ballgame 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He was hit by a pitch. And almost certainly, Tom, I could see a bunt coming right here.
Oh, yes. Number 9 hitter.
But he has to get it down. The last person to attempt a bunt did not. Kramer is parallel with the pitcher on the grass. Ritchie's first pitch. Bunt showed. Bunt dropped. First base side. He lands it. Ritchie, the scoop to first is in time. A very quick play by Dylan Ritchie to Jack Sorensen. 1 down. The go-ahead run is in scoring position. And back to the top of the order we go to Jeff Hogg at the right fielder.
Sorensen had the hold, of course, with the runner at first, and this was just the opposite situation as we saw last inning because Dylan had to cover the right side of the mound with the ball being bunted by the left-handed batter up the first base line, and Dylan made a good play.
And they're going to intentionally walk Hoggett, just like they did the last time in this scenario. So that brings up a force at all 3 bases and sets up a double play to get out of the jam. It's going to bring up Hayden Hines now. Hayden Hines on the ball game. 0 for 2 with an RBI base on balls, a hit by pitch, and a run scored. He's grounded out to third. He's popped out to second. Hines has men on first and second. 1 out, top of the 9th for an extra innings. He shows bunt, and his first pitch is inside for ball 1. Interesting approach there for Hines to advance both runners. It would give you 2 outs, so it puts a ton of pressure on Mata Lloyd.
Well, he'd be bunting for a hit. He's not bunting for a sacrifice here with 1 out. He's bunting to get himself on.
Here's the 1-0. Bunt is showed. He's pulled back. It's 2 balls, no strikes. And to field that, Sorensen came crashing in from first, and Walker Paz went to cover first, as we saw the choreography on that defensive alignment. 2 balls, no strikes to count here to Hines. Ritchie's taking his time getting the sign. Checks his runner at second. 2-0 pitch. Swung on, and that ball is drilled foul first base side. Hines, instead of bunting, went for the swing, and he fouled it.
See, I don't think he has never had any intention of bunting. What he was able to do is get ahead on the count 2-0 and force Ritchie to throw him a fastball. And if Ritchie would have thrown a strike on either of the first 2 pitches, I don't think he still would. I think he would have drawn the bat back.
2 balls and a strike. Ritchie deals. Bunt is shown. Bunt is dropped. It's fielded by Paris. No, it's foul. It just rolls foul. Paris went to pick it up. That made my heart skip about 5 beats. But he picked it up, and it's foul.
And if it would have stayed fair, it would have been a base hit. But I don't get this at all. I don't know what it does for you. It doesn't give you a chance to score a runner from third on a fly ball, but he's bunting for a hit, so I've got to remember that too. But he almost had one there, to be honest about it. If that would have stayed fair.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Richie deals. Low, it's blocked. Runner goes to third. Paris is going to hang on to it. So Garrett Fisher, the catcher, is 90 feet away from putting Rocky Mountain on top. 3 balls, 2 strikes is the count. And I can almost guarantee the runner at first is going to go. There's 1 out here. In the top half of the 9th, we're tied at 2. We're in our 2nd inning of extras. A big payoff pitch coming from Richie. He checks over at first. Payoff pitch. Swung on, and it is chopped foul. And we'll have another high-pressure pitch coming up. Tyler Mata-Lloyd, the second baseman turned relief pitcher, who's thrown a gem in relief, by the way, is on deck. He doubled the last time he was up. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. And Richie delivers. Swung on, and the ball is turned foul. And out of play. Lather, rinse, repeat. Payoff pitch.
Hoggett hasn't been doing anything off of first base.
Men on the corners and 1 out here in the top of the 9th. We're deadlocked at 2. Dylan Ritchie's trying to keep it that way. Here's the payoff. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. It's his 3rd strikeout in relief. A crucial out at the plate. 2 down, men on the corners. Here's Tyler Mata-Lloyd. Boy, what a ball game we have.
You know, that situation was set up there for Hines. He had made those 2 fantastic catches literally to save the game. And there he had the opportunity to drive in the go-ahead run. I thought it was fate ready to happen.
So now Tyler Mata-Lloyd comes up. He's 2 for 4, a single and a double. He doubled in the top half of the 8th, our first extra inning. Men on the corners, 2 outs. First pitch from Richie. Missed up high, ball 1. If Lloyd's retired now, it's King, Paz, and Solano due up in the bottom of the 9th. 2 outs, men on the corners. Richie trying to keep this a 2-2 ball game. Here's his 1-0 to Mata-Lloyd. Missed again. 2 balls, no strikes. Fans a little restless on that last pitch.
You know, this is what our postseason games are like, 9-inning games. And tell you, I just can't tell you how much I've enjoyed watching this game.
There's the 2-0. Swung on. Ball's popped up. Right side of the infield. Walker Paz in at second. Gloves up. Makes the catch. And Rocky Mountain has the go-ahead run stranded at third. It was no runs on a hit with no errors. Men left on the corners. 8.5 innings are in the books. We're going to the bottom of the 9th, folks. Connor King, Walker Paz, and Zach Solano are the first 3 gentlemen that have a chance to end this chaos. We'll be right back after a 30-second recess here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Are hoping to make their final transition from defense to offense. We're in the bottom half of our 9th inning, the 2nd extra inning played in this ballgame. And we are still deadlocked at 2. Tyler Mata-Lloyd, who had a chance to score in the go-ahead run, popped out to Walker Paz. To end the top half of the 9th, he is back out on the bump for his continuation of this gem of a relief performance he's had. He'll face 9-1-2. Connor King, Walker Paz, and Zach Solano. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you for all of this chaos. First pitch. Low and away. Ball 1 to Connor King, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. 1 ball, no strikes to count. And Montaloy deals. That's outside, 2-0. Connor's last at-bat was in the bottom of the 6th. He had the go-ahead run in scoring position, popped out in foul territory. Takes his third ball high and inside. He's up ahead 3-0. And unless it is a juicy ball down the middle of the plate, I think that bat's going to stay on the shoulder. 3-0, there's a strike. 3-1. Walker Paz on deck. Montaloy deals 3-1. Called strike 2. Outside corner at the knees, and he's battled back to a full count here against Connor King. And the payoff pitch. Low and inside, ball 4. And Connor King has been dealt a leadoff walk. The game-winning run is on the base path. And the head coach, Hackett, is going to come out and talk with his infield and with Montaloy. So here's the scenario, folks. Connor King's on first. We have nobody out. Bottom of the 9th. We're deadlocked at 2, and Walker Paz has a chance to really make this interesting.
You know, Scott Hackett, the coach, does an awfully good job for this Rocky Mountain program, but I got a kick out of him again. Last inning, when that final hitter popped out, they missed their chance to take the lead. He took his hat off again, and just you could see he was just frustrated. They haven't been able to get that one hit, which would give them the lead here. And boy, it's a great game. These are two teams playing at the top of their game, competing as hard as they can. And my goodness, this is one of the best games I've seen during the regular season in a long, long time here at Fitzgerald Stadium.
Well, let's think back to these last couple of innings that they've had on offense. Holden Jackson fans, all 3 in the top of the 6th. They strand the go-ahead run on board in the top of the 7th. In the top of the 8th, they strand a man on second. And in the top of the 9th, they just stranded a man 90 feet away from giving him the lead. So now here's Walker Paz. Connor King is on first. We're back to baseball as Paz is looking for a big hit. He shows bunt, but the first pitch is a called strike after he pulled back. 0-1 the count here to Paz, who is 0 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt and 3 flyouts. Check to first, not there in time. Montaloy trying to catch King asleep on first base.
Rocky Mountain has stranded 6 runners in the last 3 innings and 9 in the last 5.
Check to first again, not there in time.
10 total in the game.
Jeez.
And that's not having any base runners the first 3 innings when Holden Jackson retired the first 9. 3 perfect innings to start the game. In fact, retired the man to lead off the 4th.
0-1 to Paz. He shows bunt. It's high and away. Throw to first is bobbled, but it's covered by the second baseman, Laux. That could have been disastrous for Rocky Mountain. They got a break there. Ball and a strike the count here to Paz. King still on first. He is on board. He is the winning run right now. Coming in from third is Stevens to try and field the bunt. And he is just about at the mound. 1-1. Paz drops the bunt. First base side. He's in a foot race now. The shovel to first is in time. But Connor King gets the second. A perfectly executed sacrifice bunt for Walker Paz. Connor King is 180 feet away from ending it, and Zach Solano is one swing away, or so we think. He's just been intentionally walked. So in that situation, it was pick your poison. You either walk Solano and face Bowman, or you face Solano, and they picked Bowman.
I like this situation right now because Cooper, 2 hits his last 2 at-bats, a bunt single, but then a single to right. He looks like he's getting that stroke back, and I think this would be a situation for him to shine.
So now here comes Cooper Bowman, men on first and second, and his first pitch is low. It's blocked by Fisher. And Connor King's not going to try for third. 1-0 the count here to Bowman. Zach Solano's on first, the intentional walk. Connor King's on second. He was walked. He's the game-winning run. Cooper Bowman has a 1-0 count and 1 out. Pitch. Low and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Yeah, at this part of the Hardhats order, you're really picking your poison because if Bowman doesn't get it done, then Petrie's on deck. If he doesn't get it done, Sumption's on deck. 2-0. Called strike on an off-speed pitch. And the count goes to 2-1 for Bowman. Bottom of the ninth. We're in our second extra inning. We're knotted up at 2. If the Hardhats win, they're 6-0 in the Firecracker. They'll play for the title Tuesday night. And we don't have a pitch. We have a motion to second. So Mata Lloyd will take his time on the mound for Rocky Mountain. 2 balls and a strike the count. Mata Lloyd checks Connor King at second. And the 2-1. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory, third base side. Stevens is charging from third, and he'll watch the ball sail into the stands. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Cooper Bowman. Solano's on first. At this point, he's unfortunately irrelevant on the base path. Connor King's on second. That's who everybody's watching. 2-2. Swung on. Ball's hit up the middle. It stopped at second. Shovel to second for 1. They're not going to get the out at first. Connor King is on third. Men on the corners. 2 outs as Bowman grounds into the fielder's choice. And it'll bring up Eric Petrie. And I believe Coach Hackett is coming out. I think he's trying to argue the slide that Solano had, and he is up in the face of our field umpire right now, and he's livid. And now he's coming over to the home plate umpire.
Well, I didn't see anything that was out of the ordinary, but...
Well, the second baseman the shortstop fielding, said he was contacted into, but I don't see any problem with it either. It looked like a routine play. Coach Hackett is really livid right now. And it looks like they're going to call him safe. Or, they're still going to call the out, but they're not going to add any additional penalty because of the slide. So,
well, there was absolutely zero chance for a double play. And that goes into part of the decision the umpires would make. But I really believe Hackett is really grabbing at straws here in the bottom of the ninth inning. He's still jawing at home plate umpire Judd Thompson, and now they're going to walk Petrie for the 3rd consecutive time. So he set a team record tonight with 3 intentional walks.
My goodness, so that's going to bring up Zach Sumption.
How many times, Zach, do you want to win this game?
Well, this will be his second chance to do it. The last time he was up, he had men on second and third. Everybody's going ballistic for Zach Sumption. The bases are loaded. There are 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, and the Disney film crew is in right field. First pitch, Sumption swung on. It's hit to third. The throw to first is in time. And we're going to a 10th inning. Wow. My goodness. Buckle your seatbelts, folks. It could be a long night. We'll be right back in just a few moments here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. Well, 9 innings wasn't enough, so let's do 10. Unreal. Dylan Ritchie's back out on the mound for Post 22. He'll face 4, 5, and 6. Aaron Laux, the second baseman. Cody Stevens, the third baseman. Adam Cornell, the shortstop. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you for all the action, all the calamity, all the chaos, the insanity. Insert dramatic description here. Post 22 just had the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth, and on the first pitch he saw, Zach Sumption grounded out to third. Boy, is this fun.
It's been a great game. You just, again, I'll say it, after last night's debacle, it's just an amazingly well-played, great Legion baseball game.
Dylan Ritchie against Aaron Laux. He intentionally walked him the last time he was up. This will be his first official at-bat, and the first pitch rides inside for ball one. Dylan Ritchie is now in his third full inning, we should say, of relief. He came out for the last out of the top half of the seventh. He's pitched ever since. 1-0, swung on. It's chopped to third. Kramer on the hop, deep at third. Throw to first is in time to Jack Sorensen. 1 up, 1 down. Here's Cody Stevens, the third baseman.
Got some sprinkles coming down, Mark, and the wind is shifted too. It's now looks like it's kind of blowing across the field. Oh, it's still blowing out towards right.
Cody Stevens is now up. He has struck out in back-to-back-to-back at-bats. And his first pitch is swung on. It's hit to short. Bowman charges and the ball boots off his glove. An E6 puts the go-ahead run on the base path. It's Cody Stevens, and that will bring up Adam Cornell, the shortstop. An unfortunate turn of events for Cooper Bowman at short. Adam Cornell has struck out the last 2 times he's been up. First pitch. Up high, ball 1. And Cornell did not show bunt on that pitch. 1 out and a man on first. We're in the top of the 10th inning. 7 innings wasn't enough. Neither was 8. Neither was 9. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, and the ball is chopped to first. Sorensen gets it, and it's caught! It's a double play! The ball was lofted to Sorensen. He touched first, and that's going to end it. And everybody is pounding on Jack Sorensen as he comes towards the dugout. A pop 3 double play. And now the Hardhats have a chance to walk off again. A 1-minute recess. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 10th here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. Timmy Paris will lead off the bottom of the 10th. He has a chance to walk off here for Post 22. It's Paris, Sorensen, and Kramer. Motto Lloyd is still out on the mound. Time is called by Paris. 2-2, bottom of the 10th. Something's got to give. First pitch to Paris, turn to left. It is high, it is far, and it is gone. And the Hardhats walk off. Timmy Paris touch them all. It's 3-2 after 10 innings of solid baseball.
Oh, third home run of the season for Timmy Paris. Wins the game as the Hardhats mob him at home plate. And this moves the Hardhats into the championship game of the Firecracker, no matter what happens in their game with Eden Prairie tomorrow night.
I should also mention that's the first and will be only hit of the ball game for Timmy Paris. And boy, did he deliver when he needed that hit and when his team needed it more.
The final score, the Hardhats 3, Rocky Mountain 2. Mark and I will return and wrap this one up with the totals and highlights here on ESPN Radio and the Anytime Auto Sales Press Box in just a moment. So the Hardhats are now 6-0 in the Firecracker, have secured a spot in the championship game on Tuesday night at 5 o'clock. And for Rocky Mountain, they dropped to 4-2. Now they are not out of it by any means, because if Rocky Mountain beats Yakima tomorrow morning in the 9 o'clock game, that means that Eden Prairie must beat Post 22 tomorrow night to also reach the championship game. If Post 22 would beat Eden Prairie and Rocky Mountain would beat Yakima, then Rocky Mountain has the tiebreaker over Eden Prairie by virtue of their 5-2 win and would meet Post 22 in the final game. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, and 12 left for Post 22. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 10 left for Rocky Mountain. Dylan Ritchie picks up the win in relief with a great 3 innings of scoreless relief for Post 22. And the reliever Tyler Mataloy takes the loss, giving up the solo home run to Paris to win the game in the bottom of the 10th inning. Solano had given the Hardhats a 1-0 lead in the 3rd with his 7th home run. Rocky Mountain tied it in the 4th, an RBI ground out by Spencer Smith-Baker, and then took a 2-1 lead on a bases-loaded walk to Hayden Hines in the 5th inning, 2-1. Hardhats were able to tie it in the bottom of the 5th when Connor King scored on a wild pitch, and it was 2-2. Between the 2-2 at the end of 5 and the winning home run by Timmy Paris, we had 2 game-saving catches by Hayden Hines, the center fielder for Rocky Mountain. We had a game-saving catch by center fielder Connor King of Post 22, which all set the stage for Paris's walk-off, lead-off home run in the bottom of the 10th.
It's on the first pitch that he saw, too, Tom. And again, I want to reiterate, at that point, he was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. He was looking for a hit, something to get started for his club. And what he utilized to get it started, he ended it with a solo jack over the left field wall. And Tom, he absolutely destroyed that ball. That's probably out in the street right now. And that's no exaggeration. By the time the ball officially went over that left field wall, it was still halfway up the light stanchion that holds the lights to the fits in that area of left field. I mean, he absolutely destroyed it. And what an exclamation point to, at the end of the day, was just an outstanding baseball game. And I'm going to reiterate the point that you made many times in this broadcast. Last night's baseball game was just a gong show. And it was a comedy of errors, and whoever committed less errors at that point was going to win. It was Post 22. They committed 7 to Yakima's 8, somehow scored 9 runs, and Yakima somehow scored 7 runs. The level of baseball last night was not conducive of anybody in this tournament, nor is it conducive of anybody on this Hardhats team and organization. And then you get to tonight. They put that win, and they put that game behind them against an incredible Rocky Mountain team that came out here to play and gave the Hardhats everything they could handle right up until that one pitch to Timmy Paris, and that's all she wrote.
So the scores from today, we saw Premier West beat Mountain West Utah 3-1. Then Eden Prairie beat Mountain West 3-1. And Eden Prairie won their second game of the day 13-8 over Las Vegas. Missoula shut out Yakima 7-0. And now Post 22 wins 3-2 over Rocky Mountain. So the standings going into tomorrow's play, here are the standings at the end of today's play. Post 22 has clinched a spot in the championship game. 6-0 is their record. Eden Prairie right now is in second place with a 5-1 mark. Rocky Mountain is in third with a 4-2 mark. Then comes Premier West in fourth. They are 3-2. Then we have Missoula at 2-3. Mountain West at 2-4. Yakima at 1-5. And Las Vegas at 0-6. Tomorrow we have Yakima. That important game against Rocky Mountain. Yakima 1-5 against Rocky Mountain 4-2. Then we have Mountain West with a record of 2-4 taking on Missoula 2-3. Then Premier West will play Missoula at 2. Premier West is 3-2. Premier West will play Las Vegas at 4:30. And then Post 22 and Eden Prairie at 7 o'clock. Eden Prairie wins tomorrow night. They'll meet Post 22 in the championship game on Tuesday night. An Eden Prairie loss, coupled with a Rocky Mountain win tomorrow over Yakima, would put Rocky Mountain into the championship game. So the other wild card would be Premier West. If they would win 2 tomorrow, they would be 5-2. Rocky Mountain would be 5-2. And if Eden Prairie loses, they would be 5-2. Then we would go to runs allowed because the round-robin play would show a win for Rocky Mountain over Eden Prairie. And then Premier lost to Eden Prairie. And let's see. And then Premier West beat Rocky Mountain, so they've all beat each other, which would then put us into the fewest runs allowed, which would be Rocky Mountain right now by 5. They've allowed 16 to Eden Prairie's 21.
Wow. Just what a game. I still can't get over how that finished. I still can't get over the resilience in both of these teams. This was a great baseball game and a great way to end the weekend. There's still plenty more baseball to go in this tournament. How crazy would it be, though, Tom, if Rocky Mountain rematch Post 22 for the title? Can you imagine how awesome that game could be?
However it turns out, it's going to be a great game. It's either going to be Rocky Mountain or Eden Prairie, it looks like, although, again, Premier West can't be counted out completely, although they'd have to have some things happen for them. But, yeah, I think I need to go home and and just get a good night's sleep. This is a great game, Mark.
I agree with that completely. Sleep, a good baseball game, all across the board. This was one heck of a night.
I guess we should. Hey, you want to do it again tomorrow night?
Hey, I'm down to do it tomorrow.
Okay, we'll be on the air about 7 o'clock tomorrow night as Post 22 will play Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Weather looks great. Doesn't have any rain in the forecast for tomorrow night. And if we don't have the game itself to motivate you to come on out, we have the big fireworks extravaganza following the Post 22 Eden Prairie game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So we should be on around 7 here on Hardhat TV and also on ESPN Radio Rapid City. Good night, Mark.
Good night, Tom. We will see you tomorrow for the big showdown against Eden Prairie. Folks, thanks for sticking around with us tonight. This one was quite the long game. We started at 7:01. We finished roughly 5 minutes ago. So this was 2.5 hours plus of just great baseball. But thanks so much for sticking it out with us into the 10th. For my partner, Tom Rudabush, our director of Hardhats TV, Destin Human, this is Mark Minetti saying so long and good night. We'll see you tomorrow on ESPN Radio Rapid City and on Hardhats TV for our final regular matchup against Eden Prairie here in the Firecracker before the championship games on Tuesday night.